higher, not a dramatically higher regime that we're talking about. If for some reason inflation were to have a revival to higher levels, and then that means a substantially higher interest rate regime than what is can be considered within a ballpark of where we are today, and then that forces a much sharper slowdown down the road for the global economy and the EM economies, that could be a negative scenario. But if it is, we're talking about, modestly higher interest rates, but an overall stronger economy, without doing as much damage to the economy as was afraid last year, as was feared last year, then net then might not be that negative for EM flows. And India being, as you know,
Okay.
nearly
Speaking of
80% of Indian flows are a
yeah,
function
please go ahead.
of EM flows. So if EM flows are to turn south as they were last year, then India can't be, aloof to that. Uh, so that remains to be seen on how EM overall does in terms of flows.
Right. Speaking of flows, Prashant, how did the whole Adani episode over the last few weeks shift the mood towards India, if at all? I mean, do you think it has done anything to color the judgment of global investors that you may be speaking of all the time? Were they rattled? Were they shaken by this episode?
To some degree, there were heightened inquiries, Udayan, and we fielded a lot of questions as well on the from our global investors on implications. We had, client calls and webinars and whatnot. So there were a lot of questions, and there were worries of spillover, contagion risk. Can it, bring down the Indian markets? Was one of the concerns. But I think as Indian markets have held up quite well, by and large.
pork curry, bhang ka laddu. The people vote for us based on what the ideologies that we have. What do the young of Shillong want?
I just want to go out of Meghalaya.
If you're standing by the people, then expect people to stand by you.
In 30 years of doing political rallies, I've never quite seen anything like this.
And we would like to be king, not a kingmaker.
The future's not ours. Whatever happens in its politics, we will celebrate with music and food.
LIC हर पल आपके साथ। सैमसंग गैलेक्सी S23 सीरीज।
Good morning and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to India Today's The Burning Question. More on that. First, I'm Pooja Shali. Let's begin with the headlines. The top story coming in from Delhi. The centre has given a nod. The Home Affairs and Ministry giving an approval to prosecute if required Manish Sisodia in the Snoopgate controversy. In Maharashtra, the Supreme Court today afternoon will hear Uddhav Thackeray's plea against the Election Commission's decision to give the bow and arrow symbol to Eknath Shinde faction. In Maharashtra, with Sanjay Raut now making a sensational murder charge that there is a plot to kill me, and behind it is Eknath Shinde's son, who's hired gangsters from the Tihar prison. V.D. Savarkar should be given a Bharat Ratna, says Eknath Shinde after the meeting on Tuesday. Could become a huge political showdown with the Bharat Ratna demand that is now increasing for V.D. Savarkar. Annamalai, the Tamil Nadu BJP chief unit, meeting the governor. One-day hunger strike, stepping up ante against Dravida Munnetra Karagam over soldier's death by the councillor. Big political news coming in from the national capital, Delhi. Union Home Affairs Ministry has given a sanction to prosecute Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia if required in the Snooping Gate allegation. The Snooping Gate, remember, with regard to 2015 case of a feedback unit, a so-called snooping unit that had been set up to allegedly snoop on individuals, politicians. Now, these were allegations, these are claims, but it had become a huge political showdown. Aam Aadmi Party had denied it, but with Home Affairs Ministry now giving a sanction to initiate FIR by the CBI if required. A big setback for Manish Sisodia, but definitely a bigger political showdown with regard to BJP at the centre and Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi government. Let's quickly bring in India Today's Amit Bhardwaj, who's on the ground tracking all the latest and tracks not just the politics of it, but also the agencies. How should we see this, Amit, that the prosecution sanction has been given? It's a procedure for now, it's a protocol. But what does it mean for Aam Aadmi Party and what does it mean precisely for the investigation in the snooping unit case?
Well, Pooja, you know, this particular incident that we are talking about, the case that we are talking about pertains to 2015. Now, a request by the Central Bureau of Investigation was sent out to the LG VK Saxena in January itself, around 12th of January, asking approval from the competent authority for, you know, going ahead with the prosecution in this particular case. What we saw that the letter was sought from the LG's office and the Delhi government's vigilance department to the MHA for its approval, and now what it appears is that MHA has issued the notification and the order in this particular case, where they have allowed the prosecution request of the CBI under the Prevention of Corruption Act. Now, as far as the agencies are concerned, you know, in this particular case, there are claims being made that in 2015, this FPU unit, which is basically a feedback unit, was formed, which was aimed at snooping at the government officials as well as some political entities along with individuals and other organizations. These are allegations which will be now probed by the CBI. And along with that, Pooja, there's another allegation which is coming up in this case, is that a certain amount of funds were disbursed, unaccounted money was actually disbursed as part of the Secret Services Fund. So all these angles will be now investigated by the CBI. So far, the CBI was not able to act in this case because, remember, Manish Sisodia is the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi. So there has to be a legal sanction from the competent authority, which is the MHA in this case.
Amit, stay on with me. Stay on with me because I'll want to ask you about if there are political reactions that have come in from either side. But let me quickly bring in my colleague Munish Pandey. Munish closely tracks the agencies. He was the first to break this big news that the Home Affairs Ministry has given a sanction. Munish, why this protocol of a sanction from the Home Affairs Ministry for a viewer watching right now? Because they would think that prosecutions mean immediate arrest or even conviction. But this is the start of a procedure. What is the requirement? What does it mean as a trouble for Manish Sisodia, Delhi Deputy CM?
Well, Pooja, the prosecution sanction from the government, it means that if there is a person who is a public servant or who is a government official to file an FIR, the CBI, as per the procedure, needs a sanction from the competent authorities. In this case, it was the LG of Delhi and the Ministry of Home Affairs, that is the government. Now, Pooja, what is extremely important here is the sanction has been granted under Section 17A. Now, 17A is required to file an FIR in the case. So as far as this case is concerned, or this sanction is concerned, simply it means that the CBI will have now power to register an FIR against Manish Sisodia and other accused in the case. Now, as far as the timeline of this case is concerned, remember in 2015, the idea was floated within the Aam Aadmi Party government. In 2016, the unit was set up, but later on, a complaint was given to the Central Bureau of Investigation. There was a preliminary inquiry which was conducted by the CBI. The CBI claims that during the preliminary inquiry, they found the evidence of illegality at different levels, including the illegality from Manish Sisodia's office. Then the file was sent to the LG office this January, that is a month back. The LG granted the prosecution and forwarded the file to the Ministry of Home Affairs, and now the MHA has also given a prosecution sanction, that is the approval to the CBI to file an FIR in this case. Now there is
my
a very high possibility
here that this sanction or of this stature hasn't really been given till now against Manish Sisodia. We know Satyendra Jain already is in arrest, so that is one wicket down, so to say, for the Aam Aadmi Party. Manish Sisodia is a very close aide of Arvind Kejriwal. He's one of the most prominent members of the government. If this leads to an arrest at all, is this the first? And secondly, what could this mean for the Delhi government?
Well, Pooja, if you talk about within the law, the Central Bureau of Investigation will be in power to arrest Mr. Manish Sisodia. Already, the CBI sources are saying that in the excise policy case where Manish Sisodia is accused number one, they have very strong case. CBI has very strong case as far as Manish Sisodia is concerned. Recently, Manish Sisodia also gave a statement when he was called by the CBI for questioning that if he appears before the CBI, the agency is going to arrest him. And now with this approval, there will be a second FIR. And if CBI, what they claim that during the preliminary inquiry, they had certain evidence against Manish Sisodia. That is why even in that case, in the PE, he was named as accused number 1, suspect number 1. So there is a high possibility that in the FIR also, he will be named as accused number 1. And if CBI files the FIR, they will be within their power to arrest Manish Sisodia based on the evidence which they have and which they are already claiming. As far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, for them, it is going to be a huge loss because Manish Sisodia is not only an important player in the Aam Aadmi Party, in the Delhi government, but also he is the Deputy Chief Minister and he is someone who holds so many portfolios and ministries in the government. Also, he is a trusted aide of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. So it is going to be a huge setback. But Pooja, always remember what we have seen in politics, that whenever there is a politician who is arrested by the central agencies,
He's heading the vigilance department, of which this feedback unit was an initiative apart. He is primarily the education minister. Remember, Aam Aadmi Party planks itself on the education model. So that's where Manish Sisodia's role also comes in. He is crucial in many ways. Arvind Kejriwal doesn't have as many portfolios as Manish Sisodia has the power for Delhi government. He's actually in many ways, many call him the main chief minister with the portfolios that he's managing. Stay on with me because this could be turning, remember, into a huge issue through the day. Amit, has the BJP responded yet? Has the Aam Aadmi Party given out statement? Because the BJP will be quick to welcome. But what will the Aam Aadmi Party say will be very crucial.
Well, Pooja, BJP is absolutely quick to respond to this entire development. You have several spokespersons from the Bharatiya Janata Party's Delhi state unit as well as the national unit responding to the development where the MHA has given its approval to the prosecution sanction to act against Mr. Sisodia for filing of the FIR. But as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, because I cover the party, it's almost every time that they release a statement or react a statement in a very calculative manner. So whatever response that we are expecting from Aam Aadmi Party, it might come later in the day because remember, there's a mayoral election to happen today as well. So possibly, right now their focus is to get the mayor election conducted. Yes, there would be a response from Aam Aadmi Party, but that would be also a very calculative response and it would be, the legal teams would be also consulted as to what could be the stance in this particular case. Because remember, this is a 2015 case when the government of Aam Aadmi Party was just formed.
Yes.
There was several controversies which were erupting in 2015 itself and the unit was propped up and it was also wrapped up after a few months when the controversy had flared up. Now you have suddenly 7-8 years later the investigation picking pace, the CBI sending a request to the LG's office to for a competent authority's approval for filing of the FIR.
Amit, like you've been saying that the reactions have already started to come in, but not from the Aam Aadmi Party. The Bharatiya Janata Party has been quick to respond. Shehzad Poonawala, spokesperson of the BJP, has spoken. Let's listen into what he's saying.
अभी खबर सामने आ चुकी है कि स्नूपगेट और एफबीयू वाले मामले में सीबीआई को केस दर्ज करने की अनुमति दे दी गई है और अब इसमें मनीष सिसोदिया और अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को जवाब देना होगा। फैक्ट तो यह है कि जिस प्रकार से चाइनीज बलून भेजकर स्नूपिंग करते हैं, वैसे दिल्ली के दो जासूसों ने एक गेस्टेपो वाली बॉडी बनाई, एक सीक्रेट सर्विस वाली बॉडी बनाई एफबीयू, और ये एफबीयू बनाई गई तो करप्शन के नाम पर जांच के लिए, परंतु 60 से 65% इनकी रिपोर्ट पॉलिटिकल रिपोर्ट थी, पॉलिटिकल विरोधियों के खिलाफ थी। जिस प्रकार से जनता के पैसे का गलत इस्तेमाल हुआ, जिस प्रकार से कानूनों का उल्लंघन हुआ, जिस प्रकार से संविधान का खिलाफ जाकर ये काम किया गया, तो ये बताता है कि कहीं ना कहीं ये एक ऐसा एक्सरसाइज था जिससे कि लोगों को ब्लैकमेल किया जा सके और अपने राजनीतिक विरोधियों के खिलाफ इसका इस्तेमाल किया जा सके। और आज इसीलिए जब इसकी जांच के आदेश हो चुके हैं तो इसका स्वागत होना चाहिए। पर हर बार की तरह आम आदमी पार्टी विक्टिमहुड कार्ड खेल रही है। ये विक्टिमहुड कार्ड उन्होंने हर बार जब भ्रष्टाचार पर कार्रवाई हुई, शराब घोटाला, कक्षा घोटाला, बस घोटाला, हवाला घोटाला, दिल्ली जल बोर्ड घोटाला, तब भी इन्होंने खेला है, परंतु आज तक किसी भी घोटाले में उनको राहत नहीं मिली है। तो विक्टिमहुड कार्ड नहीं, उनको जवाबदेही देनी चाहिए।
With Minister Satyendra Jain already in arrest, is clock ticking for Manish Sisodia, the Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, head of the Vigilance Department, Education Minister, several other portfolios, and importantly in many ways in the absence of Arvind Kejriwal, he's the man who runs the government, but this will become a huge political showdown. Our colleagues Amit Bhardwaj tracking the political part of it, Munish Pandey tracking what the agencies have to say, because remember with the Home Affairs Ministry, of course the Minister Amit Shah there, and the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi, this has been at loggerheads for the two parties ever since, but a sanction for prosecutions mean CBI can go ahead. I want to bring in Munish Pandey, who closely tracks the agencies. Munish, can you give us a background of the snooping case and the CBI's involvement, but also how there have been increasing number of scam allegations that have come of serious nature, whether it's the excise policy, whether it's with regard to snooping and several other issues as well. It's just getting more trouble for the Aam Aadmi Party to really handle, because it's one by one scam surfacing against them.
Well, Pooja, first of all, to give the background of this case and what CBI has done so far, in 2015, there was a proposal to set up a feedback unit, that is FBU unit. The main idea behind this unit was to keep a surveillance on key persons, including the government officials. In 2016, there was a cabinet note which was sent to several officials, and then there was a proposal to form this unit. There were certain officials, including the retired officials from the Vigilance Department and also from the surveillance agencies, that is the IB and the RAW. Now, officials from these agencies were hired to set up this unit. There was a fund of around 1 crore rupees which was allocated for this particular unit, and the unit was formed. Whether it became functional or not, that is not important for the CBI, because what CBI has done, that after receiving the written complaint in 2017, they conducted a preliminary inquiry.
I'll interrupt you here briefly because non-stop political reaction. It's the Bharatiya Janata Party. Quick to jump in. RP Singh of the BJP joining me, because RP Singh, remember, is an important Delhi BJP neta clearly for the politics that's been brewing. Mr. RP Singh, should we see this as a protocol or as a political vendetta?
Well, it's a routine protocol, and the Delhi administration, the LG, has sought the permission from the MHA as a routine protocol, and it was there in offering, as you can't misuse the public fund, and they misuse the public fund for their personal objective, for snooping on the political leaders and the rivals in other political parties. So
Mr. RP Singh, is this not also raising a question on how the Aam Aadmi Party government is functioning? Because it's one scam after another, even if it's, of course, at the level of allegations at now. And they are saying these allegations have never been able to be proven by the agencies. But it's one stop after another. It was the excise policy, and now this.
So Satyendra Jain is still in jail. Vijay Nair is still in jail. The key functionary. Vijay Nair was a key functionary of the Aam Aadmi Party to the extent that he was allocated a minister bungalows. Kailash Karo's bungalow was allotted to him to operate from his bungalow. So he's still in jail, and they tried for the bail and court has denied the bail. So how you think that it's a political vendetta? I mean, it's just the things have been proceeded as per the law. And then ultimately, the law catches with everyone. I mean, whether it's the chief minister or minister or the deputy CM. But answer has to be given. Why? How could they build up this sort of unit without the proper approval and sanction? And then, which
what
is
do you think the snooping unit was for? The BJP was quick to claim and target the Aam Aadmi Party over it. Was there a BJP neta being snooped upon?
Let the investigating agencies investigate and let the truth come out. We don't know, but they used public fund in 2 to 1 crore rupees for forming a unit where they hired the retired armed forces and the agency, various other agencies heads to snoop on the political rivals and also on the not only but also the other administrative heads in the country. So let's see how does it go. I mean, we still need to know who are all on their list.
Very interesting. RP Singh from the BJP saying that this is simply protocol, nothing else, that the prosecution sanction has been given. Munish Pandey, Amit Bhardwaj continue to be with us. I'll now bring in Amit Bhardwaj on the politics of it. Amit, snooping allegations are serious in nature. It's not just about government officials. Could be media persons, opposition leaders, other officials, and this is extra-constitutional, extra-judicial intelligence agency, and that allegation does not fare well for any government, and definitely not for the Delhi government that's trying to come across as a righteous public service government.
Right, Pooja, you know, there are two layers of the allegations which are coming up in this snooping case. One is that this unit was unconstitutional, beyond the legalities, and it was formed to snoop on the government officials, on the organizations connected with the Delhi government and there are allegations that it was also nearly 60% of the cases that the ABU unit worked upon were of political nature. So these are allegations which are coming, and these are very serious allegations that needs to be investigated, or it is for the Aam Aadmi Party government to respond on the issue. But as far as the money angle is concerned, Pooja, a majority of the AAP netas, whenever they respond, they will reject the financial angle to it, saying that what is the allegation of corruption that you are leveling against us? It is the total amount is of nearly 1 crore rupees, and as per reports, the fund that was released to the secret service fund was nearly around 30 lakh rupees. All these numbers needs to be ascertained by the investigative agency as well. But the Aam Aadmi Party netas will say that even if we take these allegations on the face value, this amount is too less that there was corruption of sorts. The reaction from the party is supposed to come later in the day, possibly, but
the latest, because you're right outside Manish Sisodia's residence. He's the man in the eye of the storm right now, but no reaction on Twitter, no statement yet, so we'll be waiting for that, and my colleague is on the ground and he'll try and get a reaction from Manish Sisodia. Remember, of course, what you see on your screen, the thumbs up, the victory sign from days earlier, amid even the excise policy scam allegations. But will the smile stay on for Manish Sisodia, or will it be perhaps clock ticking? Remember, Aam Aadmi Party will have to give strong evidence that they did nothing illegal to be able to get away from this issue. While we stay on with these visuals, BJP has responded. Kapil Mishra, who was once with the Aam Aadmi Party, who was once a minister with the Aam Aadmi Party, and now is closely associated and is, of course, is in the BJP and has been very vocal against Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. This is what Kapil Mishra has to say.
शराब के घोटाले में अभियुक्त नंबर 1 मनीष सिसोदिया ने अभी 2 दिन पहले ही सीबीआई से परमिशन मांगी है कि मेरे को थोड़ा समय दे दो, और अब ये जासूसी का घोटाला सरकारी तंत्र का इस्तेमाल करके अपने विपक्ष का और अपने ही पार्टी के नेताओं की जासूसी करना। मैं यहां पर यह बात कहना चाहता हूं कि ये जो स्नूपिंग केस है, इस केस के सच जब सामने आएंगे तो बहुत सारे लोगों को हैरानी होने वाली है, क्योंकि आम आदमी पार्टी में केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया ने सरकार की स्नूपिंग मशीनरी तैयार की अपने ही पार्टी के पीएसी के मेंबर्स के जासूसी करने के लिए। मुझे लगता है कि जरा भी नैतिकता बची होगी तो मनीष सिसोदिया अपनी कुर्सी से इस्तीफा देकर इन भ्रष्टाचार के आरोपों का सामना करेंगे।
If you have tuned into India Today, you're watching the biggest story that has unfolded this morning. Home Affairs Ministry has given out a sanction of prosecution to Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi Manish Sisodia if required for the agencies to start a probe, and that means a possible arrest if required of Delhi Deputy CM. This is in the Snooping Gate controversy. Munish Pandey closely tracking the agencies, Amit Bhardwaj tracking the political part of it. Munish, Snooping Gate, snooping controversy could be a big controversy for any government, but for an Aam Aadmi Party government that wanted to come across as an extremely righteous public government and has changed the way that elections and politics is run in the country, for it to have a snooping unit is a serious charge. Can you also tell us what was the allegation that the snooping unit was being used against?
Well, Pooja, as far as this snooping or setting up this feedback unit was concerned, first of all, it was illegal in nature. If you have to snoop on any person, if you want to set up a surveillance unit, then you need a prior permission from the Home Ministry. Even to tap someone's phone, you need a prior permission from the Home Ministry. That is number one. Second is, it doesn't matter whether this snooping was done on anyone or not. What matters here for the Central Bureau of Investigation, that whether there was any illegality involved in forming, setting up this unit, and second, if there was money allocated through proper channel or not. As far as this unit is concerned, what the CBI has mentioned in its preliminary inquiry is that there was no cabinet proposal. As far as the cabinet proposal is concerned, only there was one cabinet unit. But if you want to set up a unit, if you want to hire certain government officials to do this job, you need to float a tender. But in this case, there was no tender floated by the Aam Aadmi Party. Also, the way the officials were hired, because not only one, but at least 5 to 6 government officials, mostly retired officials from Vigilance Department and from the other probe agencies were hired for this job. Those retired officials were given salary by the Aam Aadmi Party, or at least there was a proposal to give salary from the government fund. Now, there was no proper permission sought from the center to retain those retired officials. So there were illegalities at several levels, which the CBI has claimed to found evidence of in their preliminary inquiry, based on which they requested, first of all, to LG to give the permission to prosecute Manish Sisodia and other accused in the case. Now, after LG, the MHA has also given...
Stay on with me, because the first reaction from the Aam Aadmi Party has come. Aam Aadmi Party MLA spokesperson Saurabh Bhardwaj speaking.
मुझे लगता है कि ये सिर्फ आम आदमी पार्टी और मनीष जी के पीछे पड़े हुए हैं। अदानी जिन्होंने लाखों करोड़ों रुपए का गबन किया, हज़ारों करोड़ रुपए का काला धन देश से बाहर भेजा गया, फिर शेल कंपनीज़ के सहारे वो पैसा इनकी कंपनीज़ में इन्वेस्ट किया गया, वो पोल सबके सामने है, मगर केंद्र सरकार उसकी जांच नहीं कराना चाहती। झूठे केसों के अंदर आम आदमी पार्टी को फंसाना चाहती है।
लेकिन जो आरोप लगाए गए एफबीयू मामले में, वो कहीं ना कहीं गंभीर आरोप है, क्योंकि एफबीयू फीडबैक यूनिट के जरिए जासूसी कराने का आरोप है।
देखिए, जासूसी पेगासस से केंद्र सरकार ने कैसे कराई, ये सारा देश जानता है। और गुजरात में किस तरीके की जासूसी मोदी जी के समय में होती थी, वो सब लोग जानते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये एक बहुत ही बचकाना, बेवकूफ़ाना बात है कि जिस सरकार के पास टेलीकम्युनिकेशन नहीं है, जिस सरकार के पास एसी भी नहीं है, वो सरकार जासूसी करा रही है। ऐसा कैसे संभव है?
इस मामले में क्या कुछ आगे कदम होगा आम आदमी पार्टी?
नहीं, कुछ नहीं। जब कोर्ट के अंदर ये केस जाते हैं, इनके केस कहीं नहीं टिकते हैं। सैकड़ों केस इन्होंने हमारे ऊपर किए। ज़्यादातर सभी केसों के अंदर जब भी फैसला आ रहा है, आप देखिए सबके अंदर जो है बरी होते जा रहे हैं। तो इसके अंदर भी कुछ नहीं हो रहा। और हम जैसे जैसे आगे बढ़ेंगे, आप देखिए अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ही एक ऐसे आदमी हैं जिससे प्रधानमंत्री डरते हैं। और जैसे जैसे अरविंद केजरीवाल आगे बढ़ेंगे, हमारे ऊपर और मुकदमे होंगे। तो हम उन सब मुकदमों का इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं। इस तरीके के फर्जी मुकदमे आगे आने वाले दिनों में बढ़ते जाएंगे।
26 तारीख को अभी सीबीआई के सामने पेश होने वाले हैं अलग मामले में, और अब ये सामने आ गया। आपको लगता है कि नहीं कि आम आदमी पार्टी अब जुड़ती जा रही है अलग अलग आरोप?
नहीं, ये तो राजनीतिक प्रतिद्वंदियों को जब आप किसी तरीके से रोक नहीं पाते, तो आप इस तरीके के झूठे केस लगाते हैं। ये तो डरे हुए लोगों का निशानी होती है। हर देश के अंदर और हर समय के अंदर देखा गया है कि जब राजा डर जाता है, राजा हार रहा होता है, फिर वो इस तरीके से सत्ता का दुरुपयोग जो है अपने राजनीतिक प्रतिद्वंदियों के खिलाफ करता है, जो आज जो है देश के अंदर सबको दिख रहा है। बीबीसी के ऊपर किया जा रहा है, हम पे किया जा रहा है, जो टेलीविज़न चैनल उनके बारे में बोलते हैं उसके बारे में जो है कुछ ना कुछ इंतज़ाम किया जाता है। तो सबके सामने है किस तरीके से केंद्र सरकार जो है अपनी सत्ता का दुरुपयोग कर रही है।
आज एमसीडी का मेयर का चुनाव भी है, जो बीते 3 बार नहीं हो सका था, हाउस एडजर्न करना पड़ा। आज क्या कुछ उम्मीद है? सुप्रीम कोर्ट का क्योंकि फैसला आ चुका है।
देखिए, सुप्रीम
So that's the first reaction coming in from the Aam Aadmi Party. Remember, this will be a heated political showdown like never before. Could this be leading to arrest of Manish Sisodia, when already one of the closest in the government, Satyendra Jain, has already been in arrest? I'll be tracking all the latest on that, heading into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. Snooping unit or not, a definitely big scam and a big, huge political showdown that is expected. We'll get you the details after the break.
I think there's an opportunity for India particularly to work with the United States and others.
India is has the largest vaccine manufacturer in the world.
I thought if it's blowing in the wind, it's best I'm on the motorcycle. And I did 15,000 kilometers in 36 days.
The rich countries have a particular obligation to exercise their investment in innovation.
I believe that global business has the money and the power.
Improvements in the way we understand the importance of education and healthcare.
You have a greater chance of killing yourself than of being killed by any soldier or terrorist or criminal.
There are some big names in the art world, like the ones from the progressive modern masters like Raza, Souza, Gaitonde, Hussain, etc. Some collect them as assets, some as vanity, some for the snob value, some for the emotional appeal. They appreciate well and fetch returns. Same with select contemporary artworks. Then there is a whole pool of emerging contemporary artists who cannot just be viewed from the lens of valuations. One such artist at the India Art Fair happened to be Vikrant Pisse. His art reiterates his commitment to the revolutionary spirit of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. His work focuses on making powerful social commentary. The fabric of revolutionary times exuded. From his work, the call to action to uphold constitutional rights, to a social commentary on casteism with the Dalits in India, to depicting the landmark Rohit Vermila suicide case, the artist is working on a series on the legacy of the Dalit Panther movement in India. His iconography is informed and deliberate in radicality. A force of change to reckon with, Pisse's work stands out at the India Art Fair. In New Delhi, Chaiti Narula for India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
This is the pork curry. The people vote for us based on what the ideologies that we have. What do the young of Shillong want?
I just want to go out of Meghalaya.
If you're standing by the people, then expect people to stand by you.
In 30 years of doing political rallies, I've never quite seen anything like this.
And we would like to be king, not a kingmaker.
The future's not ours. Whatever happens in its politics, we will celebrate with music and food.
cannot let you bring your war here.
Outcast. James Cameron directorial Avatar The Way of Water, which has been nominated for 4 Academy Awards including Best Picture, is now the 3rd highest grossing film of all time worldwide.
The Way of Water connects all things.
Surpassing Titanic and Jurassic World.
And after your death.
This is our home!
I need you.
Avatar The Way of Water has collected $2,243 million globally to date, whereas Titanic's collection of $2,242.8 million to become the 3rd highest grossing film of all time globally. Avatar The Way of Water also passed Jurassic World to become the 9th highest grossing film of all time in the United States of America. Globally, after its 10th weekend, Avatar has grossed an estimated $657 million in the US and $1,586 million worldwide, taking the total to $2,243 million.
I hear her heartbeat. She's so close.
Set more than a decade after the events of the first film, Avatar tells the story of the Sully family.
Jake, it's crazy here. Quaritch is rolling and there's no stopping him.
We're going up against the trouble that follows them, the lengths they go to keep each other safe, the battles they fight to stay alive, and the tragedies they endure.
You should see your faces.
We have an indigenous population called the Na'vi. They are very hard to kill.
They've sent us a message.
This also makes Cameron the director to have 3 of the top 4 highest grossing global movies of all time: Avatar, Avatar The Way of Water and Titanic.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Good evening and welcome. You're watching the news track. I'm Rahul Kamal. How does the Shinde Sena getting access to the tag of being the official Shiv Sena impact the political calculus in the build-up to the 2024 elections? Remember, the Mood of the Nation opinion poll telecast on the India Today group recently showed that Maharashtra was one state where the Maha Vikas Aghadi was seen as doing well and the NDA seemed to be struggling. But now the Shinde Sena is the official Shiv Sena. To what extent does that change the political calculations in this very important battleground state? We'd look at that in detail on the news track tonight.
हे शिवधनुष्य आहे जे रावणाला नाही पेललं ते मिंद्यांना काय पेलणार आहे.
धनुष्यबाण तो गिरवी रखा था उन्होंने. बाला साहब के विचार और ये धनुष्यबाण ये उनकी देन है, उसे तो हमने छुड़ाया है अभी.
Mahabharat over Sena. Uddhav fights for legacy. Takes war to Supreme Court. Shinde takes over party offices. Big escalation ahead of BMC polls. Kaun banega Senapati? Big focus on News Track.
At 3:30 p.m. tomorrow, the Supreme Court will hear Uddhav Thackeray's plea against the Election Commission. Uddhav's lost his party name and symbol. Eknath Shinde is all set to be anointed the chief of the new Shiv Sena. He's taken control of the Sena offices in the assembly and the parliament and is now staking claim to the BMC headquarters as well. The top court needs to decide who is the real Senapati.
From the streets of Mumbai, the Election Commission of India, the Parliament, to the Supreme Court. Flashpoints explode in the political war between Maharashtra's Senas. On Tuesday, former Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray filed a petition before the Supreme Court, challenging the EC's decision to allot party name Shiv Sena and bow and arrow symbol to the Eknath Shinde faction.
Seeking an urgent hearing against the Election Commission order, Senior Advocate Kapil Sibal pointed out that if there is no stay, the Eknath Shinde faction, which has already taken over the party office, could also take over the party accounts. And what is happening in the EC is in fact dangerous to the polity of the country, because the Election Commission has gone outside of its purview and looked at issues which were being considered by the Supreme Court. On Wednesday, the petition against the EC will be heard by a 3-judge bench of the Supreme Court.
In the midst of the hot button dispute, the Lok Sabha Secretariat issued the Shiv Sena's office in Parliament to Eknath Shinde's faction. The move came in response to a formal request from a party MP. The political showdown between the two groups has escalated since the EC's decision. Eknath Shinde's party has taken control of the Sena's office in the state legislative building already.
करने दीजिए, और क्या कर सकते हो? चोर होता है वो कहाँ भी घुसता है. अब जो और बड़ा चोर होता है उनको लगता है कि मैं देश का मालिक बन गया हूँ. हाँ, लेकिन ये चौकीदार नहीं है. चौकीदार यहाँ की जनता है. ये एक रेड कार्ड के हिसाब से काम चल रहा है महाराष्ट्र के राजनीति में. अगर नहीं है तो अपने बच्चों की शपथ लेकर बोलिए ये नहीं है क्या.
A litmus test for the warring Senas on the cards. Elections to the powerful Brihan Mumbai Municipal Corporation already due, awaiting official announcement. Both sides pulling out all the stops to claim Sena legacy.
जिन लोगों को हमने अपना माना, मित्र तो ठीक है, वो मित्र तो थे ही नहीं, लेकिन हमने हमारे परिवार के लोगों को जैसे हम संभालते वैसे हमने संभालने की कोशिश की. उन्होंने अपनी जो कहते हैं कि राजनीति में माँ शिवसेना, उसकी हत्या करे, उसका दर्द जरूर है. हत्यारा कोई और नहीं, वो हमारे घर का ही निकला, वही हमें दर्द है. और उसको उसी को सुपारी दी गई, उसका हमें दर्द.
बरोबर आहे. ज्यांनी दगा दिला त्यांना धडा शिकवा. म्हणजे ज्यांनी युती म्हणून निवडणूक लढवली, मतदारांची मतं घेतली, शिवसेना भाजप युती म्हणून, एकीकडे बाळासाहेबांचा फोटो लावला, मोदी साहेबांचा फोटो लावला, आणि सरकार जेव्हा समविचारी पक्षाबरोबर ज्यांच्याबरोबर आपण निवडणूक लढवली त्यांच्यावर सरकार स्थापन करायला पाहिजे होतं. परंतु सत्तेसाठी, खुर्चीसाठी जे बाळासाहेबांच्या विचाराला तिलांजली देऊन काँग्रेस एनसीपी बरोबर सरकार स्थापन केलं, याच्या बाबतीत त्यांना बोलायचं होतं.
A split in Shiv Sena in 2022 first unseated the Thackeray's from power. With the EC announcing its decision last week, the Thackeray's stand ousted from the party founded by their family patriarch almost 6 decades ago.
Now the biggest challenge ahead of Thackeray's outside the court is to consolidate his support and retain his cadres from slipping towards Shinde.
While inside the court, his lawyers are trying his level best to stay the order passed by Election Commission of India and also convince the Constitution bench to decide on the fate of disqualification of rebel MLAs. With my colleague Anisha Mathur from Delhi and camera person Nitin Varne, Ritvik Bhalekar, India Today, Mumbai.
The bow and arrow symbol is one of the most deeply entrenched political symbols in Maharashtra politics. It carries immense symbolic and political importance. Now that the Eknath Shinde Sena will have, unless the Supreme Court rules otherwise, the right to carry the bow and arrow symbol into the battlefield of the BMC and in the 2024 elections, to what extent could it change voter behavior? Remember, voters typically know the panja, the hand, they know the kamal, which is the BJP symbol, they know the jhadu, the aap symbol, and so on. And therefore, if it's in their mind very deeply entrenched that the bow and arrow is the symbol that they've backed for years, if not for decades, could that change voter behavior, and if so, to what extent? To talk about this and more, I'm joined on this broadcast by Priyanka Chaturvedi, Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament. She is a spokesperson of the Uddhav Thackeray Sena, whose status now is in jeopardy. We've got Rajdeep Sardesai, who understands the ins and outs of Maharashtra politics better than anyone else does. Sahil Joshi heads up Maharashtra Bureau. We've got Yashwant Deshmukh, the lead cephalogist at C-Voter. And O.P. Rawat is the former Chief Election Commissioner of India. Shalini Shweta is a spokesperson of the BJP. I just want to go across and on that screen show our viewers what the Mood of the Nation done by C-Voter for India Today said about Maharashtra. Now, according to C-Voter, in the 2024 elections, according to the MOTN that we put out in January, the Maha Vikas Aghadi could get 34 seats. Last time the Congress NCP had 6. Now that, if it were to happen, is a big potential gain, which is when the calculation was made before the order of the Election Commission. Now, if I were to look at vote share, between the last few months, the vote share of the Maha Vikas Aghadi has actually reached almost 50% of the total votes projected to be polled in the state of Maharashtra, which gives the MVA a big head start, except that one of the most recognizable aspects of that alliance, which is the bow and arrow symbol, now resides with the NDA, which is the BJP, and the Shinde Sena, which is now the real Sena. Now, to talk about what impact this could have on the political arithmetic of the BMC elections and then the 2024 elections and then the state assembly elections in the state of Maharashtra, let me go across to Rajdeep Sardesai first, because, you know, symbolism is important. The bow and arrow symbol very deeply entrenched. Now that that rests with Eknath Shinde, at least at this moment, depending on what happens in the Supreme Court, to what extent do you think it could change the calculations which Yashwant Deshmukh did for India Today in the January Mood of the Nation poll? Rajdeep.
You know, Rahul, I don't think symbols decide votes. You can go back to 1971, Indira Gandhi, when the Congress was split. She lost the Congress symbol, but she won the election. At the end of the day, it is about which of these Senas is best able to connect with its voters. And I think that battle will be fought when there are these 13 municipal corporation elections later this year, when there is a Vidhan Sabha election next year. Yes, this round has been won fairly and squarely by the Shinde faction, and thereby they've got the momentum in terms of using this bow and arrow symbol to claim they are the real Shiv Sena. But the decision as to who the real Shiv Sena is will be taken by the voters. You're already seeing Uddhav Thackeray claiming victim, claiming that in a way this is a conspiracy against the Sena by the center using the election commission. So essentially trying to play victim and invoke Maharashtrian self-respect, some kind of Maharashtrian asmita. It may work, it may not work. I think the bigger challenge for the Uddhav Sena now is to change its style of functioning. It's going to have to reach out more aggressively to the Shakha Pramukhs, to the workers, to the cadres than they've done so far. And the other advantage that Eknath Shinde has is that mere paas BJP hai, mere paas center hai. he's got the power and the resources now in a way encircle the Shiv Sena. He's already, the Uddhav Sena, he's already done it today, taking over the parliamentary office, yesterday the Vidhan Sabha office. But all the real battle will eventually be settled only at election time. And in those numbers, I do believe that if this Mahavikas Aghadi holds, NCP, Congress and the Uddhav Sena, just the sheer arithmetic of it, and they could consolidate as a result of what's happened, because they will also feel now that today it's the Uddhav Sena, tomorrow it could be one of them. They have a chance to take on the BJP Shinde Sena, and the BJP knows that. I think the BJP has used Eknath Shinde to break the Uddhav Sena, but his utility, to my mind, is limited in the short run. Beyond the point, I don't think that the BJP will want Eknath Shinde to be seen as the face of this government. So I don't think, picture abhi baki hai, Rahul. And those numbers that you gave, I don't necessarily accept them. I do believe the BJP will do better in a Lok Sabha election than a Vidhan Sabha election. But yes, Maharashtra is one of the states where the arithmetic at the moment may well be with the opposition, even if the BJP is the party number one in the state.
Yashwant Deshmukh, from what Sahil told me when we met in Mumbai, your numbers created quite a stir in Maharashtra's political circles. Now that the bow and arrow symbol lies with the Eknath Shinde Sena, to what extent could that symbolism and the easy recognition of the bow and arrow symbol and the respect and the credibility that comes to the custodian of that symbol impact your political calculations? Rajdeep's view is it's a factor but not a game changer. Is that something you share, or do you think that just the fact that they have the symbol gives them a psychological advantage as being the true inheritors of the legacy of Balasaheb Thackeray?
Very quickly, 3 points, Rahul. I actually agree with Rajdeep that the symbols carry only a limited value as far as the actual game of political capital is concerned on the ground. Please remember, in 1977, in 1980, the Bharatiya Janasangh actually merged with Janata Party, and those two symbols were gone in 1984, and they carried on with the new party symbol and forget about the 2 seats that they won. But Rahul, for all practical matter, Bharatiya Janata Party in 1984 with the new symbol became the second largest party in India after Congress in terms of the vote share. And between 84 and 89, it was only an addition of 2% vote that took them from 2 seats to 84 seats. So, you know, there is only a limitation what political gains a symbol or an old symbol can carry. Rajdeep gave the example of Mrs. Gandhi contesting on a new symbol and winning the election. That is point one. Very quickly, point number 2, the arithmetic is still in favor of the Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi. Many people are upset with me when I say so, but they are unable to understand the logics of this because of a simple reason: they are not analyzing the 2015 Maharashtra Assembly election when the 4 parties contested independently of each other, and that is where the arithmetic lies. Anybody can go back and do the homework on mathematics. I genuinely believe that without the Thackeray family, the supporters of Shiv Sena cannot really think of Shiv Sena as a brand. I genuinely believe that, but I also genuinely believe on the flip side, Rahul, that in the same manner, the genuine Shiv Sainik also cannot think of Shiv Sena as a NCP or a Congress ally. There are 2 huge contradictions here. Shiv Sena without the Thackeray, no-go. Shiv Sena with the Congress is also a huge no-go as far as the basic Shiv Sainik is concerned.
Sahil Joshi, you have your nose on the ground in Maharashtra. Your sense of how big a factor the symbol going to Eknath Shinde is politically, it's being seen as a big victory for Eknath Shinde and the BJP. The opposition says EC works closely with the government, therefore you've got the symbol not on merit but because of partiality. How significant could this decision be in the political electoral context?
Well, Rahul, I would like to club 2 points raised by Rajdeep Sardesai and as well as Yashwant Deshmukh. I would just first cite the arithmetic which Yashwant Deshmukh was mentioning a while back. He mentioned 2014 elections. The arithmetic basically goes, and that is the reason why that Mood of the Nation survey was talked about a lot in Maharashtra, was that the Congress and NCP together have managed to retain their vote share in 2014 and 2019 elections to 34%, whereas the BJP couldn't grow beyond 27 to 28% in any of the elections, despite either with Shiv Sena or without Shiv Sena. Shiv Sena has managed to retain its vote share from 19 to 20% vote share in Maharashtra, and here is the fight which goes on now, that Shinde, along with the 40 MLAs on its side, almost 14 member of parliaments on its side, could manage to pull out around 10% of the vote share from Shiv Sena, but Shinde fraction and BJP together manages to get 37 to 38% vote share. It doesn't give them more than 15 to 20 seats, whereas the Congress, NCP and the 10% vote share which Uddhav Thackeray commands takes the Mahavikas Aghadi to 44%, and that brings them a chunk of almost 30 to 35 Lok Sabha seats in Maharashtra. Now with the symbol order, here is the question. Now with the symbol order, I agree with Rajdeep to some extent that symbol makes no difference. As Yashwant has also rightly pointed out, the transformation of BJP, originally Jan Sangh, from deep to that lamp to this lotus, didn't make any difference to their vote share. But here now the situation has changed. The politics has completely changed. There are a lot of people who are fence sitters who might want to go with the symbol, who might want to go with the original name Shiv Sena, because they have lived their political life with the Shiv Sena name, and by Eknath Shinde getting that particular symbol, maybe for the municipal corporation elections, there is a possibility that a lot of corporators who want to recontest the BMC polls may want to go along with Eknath Shinde with the support of BJP. They might think that their chances of getting elected again are more than being with Uddhav Thackeray. So that shift might happen. Whether Uddhav Thackeray manages to stop that particular shift depends, will decide a lot of things. And that is where the matter lies. Uddhav Thackeray right now is trying to create this sympathy that how Eknath Shinde, along with the help of BJP, snatched Shiv Sena's symbol, Shiv Sena's name. They are out to finish Shiv Sena, and that is what is the narrative he's trying to build up. But the
so
basic
Sahil has an important point. It's called the reason to believe, and it's not just the reason to believe, Rajdeep, of voters. Sahil's argument is it to some extent impacts the reason to believe of the Shiv Sena leader, the potential candidate in the corporation elections, the potential candidate in the assembly elections, that they feel you've got the might of the BJP, you've got the brains of Amit Shah, the charisma of Prime Minister Modi, and you've now got the symbol, and it therefore pushes some of the fence-sitter voters and potentially the fence-sitter leaders from the Uddhav camp into the Shinde camp.
Look, Rahul, the fact is it's a tough road. Let's not underestimate the challenge that Uddhav Thackeray now has to revive his party. The entire system and the machinery in a way is with the Eknath Shinde or the Shiv Sena as they are now called. And that makes it difficult because you need resources to win elections, especially municipal elections. You need resources. What Uddhav Thackeray has is a sense of emotional narrative with him. As Balasaheb Thackeray's son, and I agree with Yashwant, that Thackeray's surname does have an impact, particularly on the core constituency of the Shiv Sena. But remember, it's not just about Mumbai. As you expand into other parts, in Thane, for example, where the Eknath Shinde faction is strong, there's a belief that the BJP is unhappy with the fact that Eknath Shinde will dominate them. As you go into rural Maharashtra, there will be parts where Uddhav Thackeray's camp perhaps will be able to gain from its alliance with the NCP. On the other hand, the BJP will find possibly the Eknath Shinde faction a burden. So it's going to change district by district. I think this, in the next 6 to 9 months, which party is able to really connect with its core voters is the key. As I said at the outset, Uddhav Thackeray's camp will have to change their style of functioning. They will have to be seen to be far more robust on the ground.
Okay.
Eknath Shinde has the resources with him, but as we saw finally in the Dussehra rally in October, the Uddhav Thackeray camp was able to strike an emotional chord which was simply lacking with Eknath Shinde. So emotion with Uddhav Thackeray, resources with Eknath Shinde.
O.P. Rawat, you've been the Chief Election Commissioner of India. On the basis of your experience, do you think the current election commission has done the right thing by giving the Shiv Sena symbol to the Eknath Shinde camp? What do you think is most likely to happen in the Supreme Court?
Honorable Supreme Court has accepted the petition for hearing, and therefore it will be preposterous to comment whether it is right or wrong. But going through the decision of the Election Commission on allocation of bow and arrow symbol to Eknath Shinde faction, I find that whatever evidence, whatever facts have been mentioned in that order, it appears that they have followed the Supreme Court ruling in Sadiq Ali case. They have applied non-conclusive, and therefore they had relied on legislative majority group, and therefore they have decided in his favor.
So let me just pause you for a moment to tell our viewers about what happened in 1971. In that Supreme Court judgment which O.P. Rawat just mentioned, the Sadiq Ali versus the Election Commission of India case, in this what the Supreme Court decided is, if there is a dispute amongst groups of political parties, the test of majority support amongst the members of the organizational and legislature wings of the party would decide who wins that dispute. So whoever has more members of the legislature wing, which is your MLAs, your MPs, and the organizational wing, is the one who carries the day. Rajdeep, you've been speaking to lots of lawyers, politicians in Maharashtra. Is that their sense as well? As O.P. Rawat says, they've gone by what happened in the Sadiq Ali case in 1971, or are they expecting that there could be twist in the tail in the Supreme Court?
No, I think, look, the law is pretty much clear if we went by the Sadiq Ali case, that also it gives the Election Commission the power to decide on these cases. The only little ticklish problem here is that there is already a matter being heard in the Supreme Court on the entire defections and the manner they took place, on the legality of that. Did the Election Commission jump the gun? Should they have waited before pronouncing their verdict? Could they have frozen the symbol and waited till the Supreme Court decided on the defection case? I think that's the one slight difference between what's happened now and what's happened.
How do you respond to that, Mr. Rawat? That wait till the Supreme Court decides on the manner in which these defections took place, and if that was right or was that void, and that's the difference between Sadiq Ali and the current situation.
Actually, that is the case whenever there is any division of a political party, and therefore, and these two proceedings are two different proceedings under different laws, different systems. Defection is under 10th schedule of the Constitution, and it is a matter for the courts to decide. Whereas allocation of symbol, that is under symbol allocation order of 1968 of Election Commission, and that is simply for allocation of symbol and party name. So these two proceedings are entirely different.
Sahil, your take on this, interesting. One perspective put out by the Election Commissioner is that this is only on the issue of who gets the symbol. The other is Rajdeep's take that there is already a matter in the Supreme Court which should have been concluded before the symbol was given to the Eknath Shinde. Where do you come out on this?
Well, people were completely shocked by what Election Commission decided, because everyone was expecting that Election Commission will duly freeze the symbol, which originally happened in the Congress's case. The Sadiq Ali judgment came after both the fraction contested election in 1971, and after that the Sadiq Ali judgment came in. Also, the basic difference between the situation then and situation now is that now there is an existence of anti-defection law which was not there in 1972 when the Sadiq Ali judgment came in. Now, the I spoke to a lot of people, specifically from the Uddhav Thackeray camp. They are raising this issue that how come suddenly Election Commission have started deciding the fate of a political party on whose side more number of elected MLAs or MPs are on, whereas that should be decided on the floor of the House, in the Assembly or in the Parliament using the anti-defection law in the 10th schedule in the Constitution. Second important part in the Election Commission order was with respect to the constitution of the party, that is Constitution of Shiv Sena, and the Election Commission says that the amendments in the Constitution of Shiv Sena, which gave immense power to the party president, that is Uddhav Thackeray, those amendments were against the Election Commission's guiding principles of a political party, and that is why the party membership, the party office bearers, on whose side they are on, cannot be considered, and that is where the matter lies, and that is where the Uddhav Thackeray camp thinks that the Election Commission's order.
Priyanka Chaturvedi, your party's case comes up before the Supreme Court tomorrow. At this moment, one argument seems to suggest that the EC has done the right thing. Eknath Shinde Sena had more MLAs, they had more MPs, and therefore they've gone by law and they've granted the symbol to the Eknath Shinde Sena. How hopeful are you that the Supreme Court could possibly come to your rescue?
Okay, step one, we are not asking for Election Commission to be disbanded. What we're saying is the election of the commissioner, the chairperson of Election Commission, should be done via a collegium. Because right now, Supreme Court is also hearing a case where a bureaucrat takes voluntary retirement from services and within 24 hours is appointed as the election committee chairperson. So that what Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray ji said was, this is not a transparent way of working. It has to be through a collegium-like system, or a system needs to be created where election parties, all of them, political parties are on board to decide who will be the, person who's best suited in that role. Now, second part about the Supreme Court, whether Supreme Court agrees with our arguments or disagrees with our arguments would only be known once the verdict is out and whatever decision they take. However, it gives us that opportunity. Every citizen of this country has the opportunity to take their case and have their case heard in the apex court of India. And that is what we're doing as a political party, where we see how other agencies were undermined, have continued to be undermined, whether it's the Enforcement Directorate, whether it's the IT, CBI, which were used to create a split in the political party Shiv Sena, and now using the Election Commission to give it a stamp of approval and hand over the entire political party, its symbol and its identity to people who actually went against the political party. So this is unheard of India's history. So I'm very certain that Supreme Court will ensure and uphold constitutional morality and democratic principles of this country and take a call on it. And
the Election Commission went through multiple deliberations, hearings, and they seem to have followed the principle of the test of majority, which goes back to the 1971 Sadiq Ali judgment, which we were just discussing, which is that the Eknath Shinde Sena had more MLAs and MPs, and therefore at this moment they are the natural inheritors of the symbol.
So in the Sadiq Ali case also, there are three tests of majority. You cannot cherry pick which test of majority you want. And the 3 points here. One, the legislative majority. Let's remember, this legislative majority was derived by using ED, IT, CBI, money, whatever, to lure elected representatives of our party to break away from the party. Second, these very MLAs who have, left the organization, who've gone against the party, their case is already being heard. Their disqualification case is still being heard in the Supreme Court, and they haven't reached a logical conclusion. That case started in the month of June. Now, the Shinde faction went to the Election Commission only in the month of July end, if I'm not mistaken. So even going by that test of majority, it's a flawed idea to hand over them on the basis of test of majority when all these MLAs on the basis of which you decide the majority stand to be disqualified once the Supreme Court hearing is over. So considering the matter is sub judice, how did Election Commission reach their goal, reach the idea and belief that they have a legislative strength? Secondly, the 10th schedule of the Constitution categorically says a political party is much larger than its legislative members. It constitutes an organization, it constitutes office bearers of the organization, and how these office bearers of the organization lead to, handing over political party symbol and ticket to a candidate. So if you look at the organization strength, which again they have cherry-picked, they have overlooked, over 20 lakh primary members affidavits in support of Uddhav Thackeray was submitted to the Election Commission. Over 4 lakh office bearers of Shiv Sena who are in support of Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray ji have been submitted to the Election Commission. And we have about 220 national executive office bearers. They, out of that, 160 odd are on our side, while they have 11 affidavits that they have submitted totally are 4 lakh. So even if you look at the organization strength, if you look at our party strength in the Legislative Council, all the MLCs are on our side. In the Rajya Sabha, all 3 Rajya Sabha MPs are on Uddhav Balasaheb Thakurji's side. In the Lok Sabha, 6 out of the 18 are on our side. And in the Assembly, 15 out of the other candidates are on our side. So it's not like it's a one-way street. You'll have to, when you talk about majority, you'll have to look at a political system as a whole, political party as a whole. Otherwise, if you're just looking at legislative strength, so next time, you should do away with political parties itself. You should give symbols to everyone who wants to contest an election, and then you can auction all the MLAs who are the winning MLAs. And considering Bharatiya Janata Party is the richest party, instead of going about it in a roundabout manner, they can bid for their MLAs of their choice.
So your party's offices in Parliament and in the Maharashtra Assembly.
Breaking news just coming in. Alia lambas paps for clicking pictures. Clicked inside a house. Alia snaps. Alia cries invasion of privacy. Bollywood comes out backing Alia. Alia says, I was clicked in my living room. There's a line you cannot cross is what she says. So this is the breaking news coming in at this point of time. Alia was papped inside her house, and now she is objecting to invasion of privacy at the moment. She cries saying that this is an invasion of privacy, and Bollywood also comes out backing actor Alia Bhatt. Amit Tyagi now joins us for the latest. Amit, what happened? Where was she clicked? Who clicked her? And why this kind of invasion of privacy? What was the need to click her inside her own home?
Which I think over the last 3 years, media has strongly, the entertainment media has been engulfed with this paparazzi culture which came from the West. We remember the unfortunate Princess Diana incident that took a very ugly turn. I think in India also the culture is gradually, especially in Mumbai, it's cropping up. But on one hand, these celebrities themselves called the paparazzi. But now I think when you raise a monster, the monster takes over you. And that's exactly what's happening with this paparazzi culture, which has gone into the different dimensions. And this is one of the side effects when you are clicked without the permission. So Alia and other celebrities like Anushka and Arjun Kapoor and Janhvi Kapoor, they all have this thing without our permission. How can they click it in our living space? So apparently this picture is from Alia's home, and she was clicked.
Arguing on the same concept, Amit, that sometimes there are celebrities who invite paparazzis themselves, but they do not really invite them inside their living rooms. Even if they do that, it's their choice and consent. There is no consent as far as this is concerned, and clicking her inside the privacy of her own home is really crossing the line. Who are these paps?
Yes, that's what exactly I'm coming the point. So when initially they used to invite, but now, as I say, the monster has become so big. So these are the freelancing photographers who are part of the big media organization. So One Such India is one of the popular media organizations carrying these pictures, and it was photographer by them who were clicking from the 2 buildings away, and Alia actually saw them clicking the pictures. So that's what the point she had raised. In fact, she attacked Mumbai police also on that. And lots of celebrities like Anushka Sharma, she experienced the same, and Arjun Kapoor, Janhvi Kapoor, they also supported. And now people like Swara Bhaskar and all, and I think now all the actors will take a stand over this, but there's the line to be drawn. You cannot treat anybody. Now, another culture along with that is the selfie culture. 2 days back we have heard similar incident of clicking selfie without permission with the celebrity. I cover entertainment. I see people come without permission. They come and stand with the celebrity and with the selfie. So all these things are the ramifications of this new age, so-called the social media and other things that's happening. And this is one such incident. Yeah. But I think it needs to be stopped.
No, of course it needs to be stopped, because anybody, for that matter, you cannot invade into a person's private place or a home or their privacy, for that matter, without their consent. This is not something which is in public interest. What she does within the confines of her house is her business. Nobody has the right to go ahead and pap her in this fashion. Now, has the police launched an investigation. Has the police acted on it? Because I do believe she put out an Instagram post where she has tagged Mumbai police as well.
No, it's not an Instagram post, it's an Instagram story, and she has tagged Mumbai police in that. So there's no, we're trying to get in touch with the Mumbai police. Has there been any action taken on that? Is there any, there's no response till now from that. I'm sure, I think they'll respond in a day or two. But she has to report that incident, and then only the action can be taken. In any case,
so at this point of time, she's not reported this incident? She's filed a formal complaint or not?
No, there is no such this thing. And many people had shared the story, but they deleted. Like Neetu Singh, she had put up retweeted that, posted the story, but then she has deleted it. So I'm sure, I think they'll try to settle the matter. But but somewhere I think the whole industry should raise up the issue, and so that this is not repeated again.
Yes, absolutely. And what have been the other instances, Amit? You track the space of celebrities getting tapped without their consent inside private properties.
Well, the incident was Anushka Sharma and Virat and their daughter pictures.
Yes.
When Anushka had put up the entire thing, that was came into the eye. But many such incidents, if you watch these videos, the so-called paparazzi videos, many times, they just follow a celebrity comes out of a gym or a different salon or from there with their husband or to-be husband. So those are the moments, they're sometimes very awkward. And we hear the videos, you'll understand the kind of uncomfort levels now this has taken over. In fact, I hate to cover the media events because they're full of these celebrities. You can't even talk to the actor properly. These cameras of all, the phone cameras, they're not those, I don't know which kind of, there's these freelancers, everybody who holds a camera is a journalist. So the situation has become so grim for us also, for the journalists who have been doing this from ages, and we represent a media organization, but all kind of people come under paparazzi. I don't know, there's no certification, there's no, nomenclature culture to these so-called paparazzis. Anybody who holds a phone is a paparazzi. So I think that also needs to be streamlined.
And especially, Amit, in the age of social media, everyone now wants to take a picture to score some brownie points on Instagram.
That's true. Selfie culture is like, I don't know, they take selfies and I don't know where they put it. They take selfies on like many actors, they said, you go to the washroom and people come and take selfies. So this whole selfie culture, we heard, I was telling you about the incident which happened with cricketer, and so many such incidents are going to come because this has become too much now, the selfie culture. Without permission, they come, the actor is looking this side, people come and click pictures. It's become, and it's not just the big actors, I'm talking about small actors like regional cinema or TV actors or OTT actors or influencers. So it's I don't know where it's going. It's a very bizarre situation right now, the so-called selfie obsession. And
I have noticed, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Alia has been somebody who's been absolutely classy and dignified when it comes to even getting clicked. In fact, I do remember when she was getting married as well, she especially came out, greeted the paparazzi, gave them a photo opportunity. She's been somebody who's really following the rule book properly as a celebrity as well. And hence, then it comes as a surprise when someone cooperates so much that you go ahead and invade that person's privacy.
Yeah, that's true, Chati, because she has been very cooperative actress since she comes. She's the daughter of Mahesh Bhatt, so as a child, she's seen all that. And she's been very supportive to media. I think it was one of the best weddings, most cooperative actors' wedding we have seen compared to the other weddings which happened in the last 1 year. And it happens with her, it's quite sad because Alia, Ranbir, or the whole family, they have been very supportive. As a media, I feel they're one of the best people to work. They never crib about it. They're very professional in their things. So it's very sad when you hear something about this. So that's what even
Anushka and Virat were also packed inside the comfort of their homes, and the child was also involved. Thankfully, there is no child involved over here. But what if there was? It's just a line that cannot be crossed by any paparazzi in India.
That's true. They are celebrities, of course, but for any common man also, clicking a picture of women's child is not right without their consent, and I think it's a gross violation
of that basic rule that applies to every citizen.
Indeed, it is a gross violation. Amit, at the moment, are we seeing any kind of Twitter backlash, social media backlash on the back of this story which is developing?
It's started happening now. Swara Bhaskar and all these people, they have jumped into this bandwagon. And I'm sure more celebrities will come in, and I'm sure they all should get together and form a system about this. And they should take up the matter, because I also, as a fellow journalist, feel that paparazzi culture is really hampering our work also as a journalist. Because
Amit, you are a real true-blooded journalist. We are talking here about paparazzi. There's a huge difference, and please tell our viewers the difference between a true journalist like you and a paparazzi.
Problem is that because they think that that they are journalists. Problem is that because they point the name of the so-called journalist culture as well. This paparazzi have taken over all events, all these things. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Sampling the work.
Yes. Hold on right there. We're getting breaking news coming in. There's a press conference going on by the Bharatiya Janata Party. Listen in.
जिसमें राजनीतिक दल के लोग भी थे, जिसमें दिल्ली सरकार के अफसर थे, मीडिया हाउसेस के लोग थे, उसमें जजेस के नाम थे, 700 लोगों को की स्नूपिंग कराई गई। उस वक्त भी मामला सामने आया था। अब जब चूंकि जांच के आदेश हो गए हैं, प्रोसिक्यूशन के आदेश हो गए हैं, निश्चित तौर के ऊपर जैसा अभी अध्यक्ष जी ने भी कहा, बहुत चीजें सामने आएंगी, बहुत चीजों का खुलासा होगा। और मुझे लगता है कि ये जांच की आंच है, बिल्कुल ठीक कहा अध्यक्ष जी ने, कि ये सिर्फ यहां नहीं रुकने वाली, ये जांच की आंच अरविंद केजरीवाल तक जाएगी। और वो दिन दूर नहीं है कि जब दोनों अरविंद केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया जेल की सलाखों के पीछे होंगे। ये दोनों मैटर बनते हैं, एक क्रिमिनल कॉन्स्पिरेसी का 120B का, जिसमें जिस प्रकार से इन लोगों ने इलीगल तरीके से अपॉइंटमेंट्स करी, इलीगल तरीके से स्नूपिंग करी, ये क्रिमिनल कॉन्स्पिरेसी का मामला है। दूसरा भ्रष्टाचार निरोधक, क्योंकि एक सीक्रेट सर्विस फंड बनाया गया, वो मामला भी बनता है कि उसके अंदर पैसों का इधर से उधर हुआ, कहाँ गया, किसकी जेब में गया, क्या उसका यूटिलाइजेशन हुआ, इन सब के जवाब तो अरविंद केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया को देने पड़ेंगे। इसलिए हमारा ये मानना है कि बहुत जल्दी इस जांच की आंच अरविंद केजरीवाल तक पहुंचेगी और दोनों बहुत जल्दी सलाखों के पीछे होंगे। धन्यवाद। कोई सवाल हो तो आप।
दुर्गेश पाटिल ने भी बोला है कि भाजपा पीछे पड़ी है मनीष सिसोदिया।
देखिए, हम पीछे नहीं पड़े हैं। उनके कर्म जो हैं वो ऐसे हैं, जो न्यायिक एजेंसी उसकी जांच कर रही है। मनीष सिसोदिया दावा करते हैं बेहतर शिक्षा मंत्री होने का। दिल्ली के बच्चे, अभिभावक अब ये पूछ रहे हैं कि दिल्ली का शिक्षा मंत्री शराब घोटाला करवाता है, जासूसी कांड कराता है, तो ऐसे शिक्षा मंत्री को दिल्ली में रहने का अधिकार है क्या? तो मनीष सिसोदिया के कृत्य ऐसे हैं, अरविंद केजरीवाल और उनकी सरकार के कृत्य ऐसे हैं कि जिसका परिणाम सामने आ रहा है।
कायर और झूठे लोग हो, ऐसा मनीष सिसोदिया का ट्वीट है और कह रहे हैं जैसे जैसे आप पार्टी बढ़ेगी वैसे वैसे आप लोग एलिगेशन लगाएंगे और केसेस करवाएंगे। तो कमजोर लोगों की निशानी है ये।
कमजोर लोग शिक्षा की आड़ में शराब घोटाले और जासूसी कांड करवा रहे हैं। और जहां तक आपके बढ़ने की बात है, जहां जहां आपका करप्शन बढ़ेगा, न्यायिक एजेंसी अपना काम करेगी।
इसमें ऐड कर दूं, इसी में एक बात जो अभी बात करी मनीष सिसोदिया ने, यही कुछ जो रिटॉर्टिक्स था, यही बातें जो करते थे जब वो सत्येंद्र जैन गिरफ्तार हुए थे, तब भी ये बातें हुई थी। सबने देखा कि 7 महीने से वो व्यक्ति कोर्ट की ऑर्डर की वजह से जेल में है, कोई भारतीय जनता पार्टी की वजह से नहीं, ईडी की वजह से नहीं, सीबीआई की वजह से नहीं, कोर्ट की ऑर्डर की वजह से 7 महीने जेल में है। विजय नायर जो इनके मीडिया के सब कुछ हैं, रहनुमा हैं, और कहते थे, ये आप डायलॉग इनका आता था कि हमें गुजरात के चुनाव है इसलिए हमें परेशान करने की कोशिश की जा रही है, आम आदमी पार्टी बढ़ रही है, यही बातें करते थे। क्या हुआ? विजय नायर 4 बार से उनकी बेल रिजेक्ट हुई है, 4 बार से। तो इसका मतलब कहीं ना कहीं केसेस में दम है। प्राइमा फेसी कोर्ट को भी लगता है कि जो केसेस उनके खिलाफ हैं उनमें दम है। इसलिए मनीष सिसोदिया को सिर्फ एक एडवाइस है कि इधर उधर की बात मत करो, इस बात का जवाब दो कि आपने कितने लोगों की स्नूपिंग कराई थी, कि ये पैसा सीक्रेट सर्विस फंड के अंदर जो पैसा था वो कहाँ गया, उस बात का जवाब दे, इधर उधर की बातें मत करें।
सर, ऐसी का रिमार्क आया है, दिल्ली में लगातार इंसिडेंट्स हो रहे हैं लड़कियों के साथ, कहीं ना कहीं दिल्ली
अलग से पूछ लें, अलग से पूछ लें तो कोई और क्वेश्चन इससे रिलेटेड? थैंक यू। आप अलग से
अरे भाई नाश्ता कराओ सुबह सुबह। हाँ।
All right, so that's the latest coming in right there. BJP holding a press conference, hitting out at Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia as well on the liquor gate scam. We are getting you the latest coming in. It's a setback, of course, for Manish Sisodia. We are getting you BJP's press conference goes ahead and asks, is this our government's Pegasus or not? We are getting you this particular story of Manish Sisodia, which has turned out to be a big setback, not just for Sisodia, but for the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal as well. The Ministry of Home Affairs gave its sanction to prosecute Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia in snooping case. Delhi's Lieutenant Governor V.K. Saxena approved the CBI's request for sanction to prosecute and forwarded it to the MHA. CBI sought sanctions to register an FIR against Sisodia, who heads the Vigilance Department of the Delhi government. The feedback unit was created under the department in 2015 after AAP came to power in Delhi. It's alleged that Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal moved the proposal in a cabinet meeting in 2015, but no agenda note was circulated. No sanction from the LG was taken for the appointments to the FBU. Massive political war has erupted over MHA nod.
Unfortunately, the Aam Aadmi Party will start playing the victimhood card. The old victimhood card that they've played whenever there is any kind of action on corruption, whether it's Sharab Ghotala, Hawala Ghotala, Kaksha Ghotala, Bus Ghotala, Classroom Ghotala, they have always played the victimhood card. This victimhood card won't do. They must come and answer the questions because the victimhood card has proven to be a fake card. None of the cases have been quashed by the courts of law, and today they must answer the questions that are being posed to them, not try to run away from them.
शराब के घोटाले में अभियुक्त नंबर 1 मनीष सिसोदिया ने अभी 2 दिन पहले ही सीबीआई से परमिशन मांगी है कि मेरे को थोड़ा समय दे दो, और अब ये जासूसी का घोटाला सरकारी तंत्र का इस्तेमाल करके अपने विपक्ष का और अपने ही पार्टी के नेताओं की जासूसी करना। मैं यहां पर यह बात कहना चाहता हूं कि ये जो स्नूपिंग केस है, इस केस के सच जब सामने आएंगे तो बहुत सारे लोगों को हैरानी होने वाली है, क्योंकि आम आदमी पार्टी में केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया ने सरकार की स्नूपिंग मशीनरी तैयार की अपने ही पार्टी के पीएसी के मेंबर्स के जासूसी करने के लिए। मुझे लगता है कि जरा भी नैतिकता बची होगी तो मनीष सिसोदिया अपनी कुर्सी से इस्तीफा देकर इन भ्रष्टाचार के आरोपों का सामना करेंगे।
Amit Bharadwaj is now joining us from the Civic Centre at the moment. Amit, would you say this is a setback coming in for Sisodia? How does the Aam Aadmi Party respond on the back of these developments that are coming in?
Well, it is definitely yet another political storm in the national capital, where you have Aam Aadmi Party Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia facing, another allegation, and now the MHA has given its prosecution sanction to the CBI to act against Mr. Sisodia under the Prevention of Corruption Act in the Snoopgate case. But as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, it is rejecting the allegations. Manish Sisodia, reacting to the entire development this morning, has said that, filing false cases against the opponents is a sign of a weak and coward person. So that is a big statement coming from Deputy Chief Minister of Delhi, who is facing the allegations in the Snoopgate case. And along with that, you also have senior leaders of the Aam Aadmi, such as Sanjay Singh and Saurabh Bharadwaj, rejecting the entire plot or the basis of the Snoopgate case. But on the other side, the BJP is attacking Aam Aadmi Party. It is saying that, it was the Bharatiya Janata Party's Delhi unit which had protested against Manish Sisodia, Aam Aadmi Party, over the Snoopgate case. And after that, they were demanding the resignation of Manish Sisodia. But today, now that the MHA has given sanction to prosecute Manish Sisodia in the Snoopgate case, in the alleged feedback unit case, it is to be seen what further political developments take place in the national capital. But for now, Chet, it is very clear that both the parties are at loggerheads, while the BJP is training guns at Aam Aadmi Party and Manish Sisodia. Manish Sisodia is responding, saying that as the Aam Aadmi Party is growing bigger, more and more cases are being filed against them. Back to you.
All right, we're getting the first up response of Manish Sisodia on the Delhi Snoopgate crisis. Sisodia has cried foul, calls case against him fake. He tweets, and I quote, Making false cases against your rivals is a sign of a weak and cowardly person. As Aam Aadmi Party grows, many more cases will be filed against us, unquote. So they're crying foul at the moment. Amit Bhardwaj still continues to be with us. Amit, Manish Sisodia is very, very clear that as the party grows, there will be more cases like this slapped against us. And of course, politically, we understand how this back and forth is happening, but facts are facts. So what does the investigation reveal for the moment?
Well, you know, this is at a very primary stage right now. The particular case that we are talking about, alleged Delhi Snoopgate case, it is about the feedback unit which was allegedly formed in the year 2015. And there are allegations that nearly 1 crore rupees was sanctioned for the FBU unit, out of which nearly 30 lakh rupees was spent on the Secret Services Fund. These are all allegations, and there are another allegation that this particular snooping unit was formed to keep an eye on the government officials, the organizations connected with the Delhi government. Along with that, there are allegations that this FBU unit was also snooping on the political opponents of Aam Aadmi Party. Now, you know, the CBI needed a sanction from the competent authority. So if you look at the timeline, the FBU unit is formed in 2015. Around 2016, it gets wrapped up, or maybe, you know, even before that, it gets wrapped up as per reports. And after that, you know, suddenly 7 years later, after the PE, preliminary inquiry, was completed, the CBI had sought a letter on January 12th to V.K. Saxena, who is the Lieutenant Governor of the National Capital, seeking approval from the competent authority, which is the MHA, the Ministry of Home Affairs, in this particular case. So that file was forwarded by the Vigilance Department of the Delhi government to the MHA for its clearance. And now today, the MHA has given a green signal, which means it has given the sanction to prosecute Delhi Deputy Chief Minister in the Snoopgate case. Now the CBI will have the freedom to lodge an FIR, official FIR, against Manish Sisodia and begin the investigation. Now, it is very important to understand, you know, when is this all happening? You know, now another investigation will be launched against Mr. Sisodia. He's already facing serious allegations in the Liquorgate case, and in fact, this Sunday itself, Mr. Sisodia had claimed that had he gone for the CBI, you know, questioning on Sunday, he would have been arrested. So the CBI is anyway going to question him.
Getting some breaking news coming in. We'll have to cut straight across to it. Amit, continue to be with us right there. There's a big breaking news coming in. News just coming in. Air India US Delhi flight with nearly 300 passengers made an emergency landing at Sweden's Stockholm airport after it developed a technical snag. All passengers, from what we're picking up, are safe. A large number of fire engines were deployed and stationed at the airport as the flight made an emergency landing. Latest coming in right there. Air India scare, a narrow escape for the passengers. The US Delhi flight with nearly 300 passengers made an emergency landing at Sweden's Stockholm airport. This happened after it developed a technical snag. All the passengers, from what we're picking up, are safe, and a large number of fire engines were stationed at the airport as the flight made an emergency landing. Nearly 300 passengers were on board, but the good news is they're all safe. It's been a narrow escape for them. What exactly was the technical snag is something that we will still pick up. It's a developing story for the moment, but that's the breaking news coming in. This is Air India US Delhi flight making an emergency landing. Nearly 300 passengers on board, and this made an emergency landing at Stockholm airport. It was from US bound to Delhi, and all passengers at the moment are safe. We're slipping to a very short commercial break. Lots more coming up on the other side. Stay with us.
Over 3 decades, Business Today has delivered news, views and analysis like no other. Now, Business Today presents the future.
Could I request Mr. Arun Puri, our Editor-in-Chief, to come up on the stage with the Finance Minister as we unveil the anniversary issue of Business Today. This is the 31st anniversary of India's #1 news magazine.
BT produces a cover with an AI avatar of Pichan on its 31st anniversary issue. Visit businesstoday.in/subscribe and subscribe now.
Southern cinema is known for its flavors, be it over-the-top action sequences, light-hearted comedy, or a complete masala entertainer.
పానం కన్నా విలువైన నీ సోపతి నా సొంతం అన్నా గర్వంతో ఈ మనలో కలిసిపోతేనే
The fact that it has such a wide reach irrespective of the language barrier explains the craze and power of these regional films. While we have Kannada films, Telugu films and Malayalam movies that have had a dream run lately and continue to do so, let's take a look at the A-listers and their most anticipated Tamil movies of 2023 as the industry is basking in the glory of some of the biggest hits. Jailer. Jailer will be Rajnikant's first film since the release of Annate in 2021. Directed by Nelson Dilip Kumar, the movie has a stellar cast comprising of Jackie Shroff, Shivaraj Kumar, Mohan Lal and Tamanna among others. The movie is scheduled to roll out in cinemas on April 14th. Ponniyin Selvan 2. Filmmaker Mani Ratnam's dream project Ponniyin Selvan Part 1 fetched critical acclaim and was a commercial success. The first part of this magnum opus ended on a cliffhanger, and now all eyes are on the second part, which will hit theatres on April 28th. The second part will pick up from where it ended in PS1 and will have answers to key questions about the Chola dynasty. Based on the novel by Kalki Krishnamurthy, the historical drama features Aishwarya Rai Bachchan, Chiyan Vikram, Trisha, Jayam Ravi and Karthi in lead roles.
This is the pork curry. The people vote for us based on what the ideologies that we have.
What do the young of Shillong want?
I just want to go out of Meghalaya.
If you're standing by the people, then expect people to stand by you.
In 30 years of doing political rallies, I've never quite seen anything like this.
And we would like to be king, not a kingmaker.
The future's not ours. Whatever happens in its politics, we will celebrate with music and food.
Ranbir Kapoor is currently gearing up for the release of his upcoming film, Tu Jhooti Main Makkar. Recently, the actor was spotted heading out of Mumbai when a paparazzi danced to the tune of a song from his next and left the actor impressed. The songs Tere Pyar Mein and Pyar Hota Kai Baar Hai from this Love Ranjan's romantic movie have become huge hits. Co-starring Shraddha Kapoor, Tu Jhoti Main Makar is set to release on March 8th. The film also stars comedian Anubhav Singh Bassi and Dimple Kapadia.
नमस्ते पंडित जी, कुंडलियां मिलवानी थी।
अभी जल्दी क्या है? बुरा बन के ब्रेकअप तो कोई भी कर सकता है। खूबसूरत ब्रेकअप वो होता है जिसमें सामने वाले को, उसके घर वालों को, रिश्तेदारों को सबको लगे कि लड़की तो बहुत प्यारी है, हमारे लड़के में ही खोट है।
रोक तो ले भाई, क्या कर रहा है? एक बार तो रोक। मुझे उद्देश्य नहीं दिख रहा यार तेरी जिंदगी का। अब क्या करेगा जी के? भैंस की आंख, हमें सच्चा प्यार हो गया और ये मजे ले रही है। छोटी कहीं की, कोई कदर ही नहीं रह गई दुनिया में प्यार की। मेरा तो दिल कर रहा है कूद के मर जाऊं। इतने फ्रिवलेस हो चुके लोग। छी।
Ranbir was last seen in Ayan Mukherjee's Brahmastra alongside his wife and actor Alia Bhatt. The actor has 2 more parts lined up in this trilogy. The mythological drama was highly praised for its VFX.
जल, वायु, अग्नि, प्राचीन काल से हमारे बीच कुछ ऐसी शक्तियां हैं जो अस्त्रों में भरी हुई हैं। ये कहानी है इन सारे अस्त्रों के देवता की, ब्रह्मास्त्र।
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Breaking news just coming in. Rajasthan police has seized a Haryana-registered SUV allegedly used by car vigilantes in the abduction and murder of 2 men whose charred bodies were found in Bhiwani. Haryana police registered a case against 30 to 40 unnamed Rajasthan police personnel in Nuh on a complaint by a woman that her pregnant daughter-in-law lost her child after she was allegedly assaulted by them during a raid to nab her son Shrikant, who is amongst the accused in the abduction murder case. Rahul Gautam now joining us for the very latest on the story. Rahul, there's been a development. The Rajasthan police has seized a Haryana-registered SUV allegedly that was used by the cow vigilantes. What more do we know on this? Where does the investigation stand?
Well, just a couple of days back, a team of Rajasthan police, reached at the residence of one of the accused in this case, that is Mr. Shrikant, and it is being alleged, as per the mother of accused, that the police officials over there manhandled wife of the accused here, and in fact this led to the miscarriage of the child. Now, following this complaint that was made by the mother of the accused, now Haryana police has filed in an FIR against this case against unknown officials, and obviously they have started the investigation in this entire matter. They're taking a medical opinion in this regard. As far as investigation is concerned, we've been informed that police would obviously now be going for forensics and the electronic footprints of the accused, whether they were actually present in the same area where this incident happened. And obviously they're also trying to nab the absconders in this case. We all know that Monu Manesar, who is one of the prime accused in this case, is still untraceable. He is still absconding. There are other 7 people also who are absconding in this case. So obviously the first priority of the police would be to nab these people who are still at large. However, it seems that that this is becoming Haryana police versus Rajasthan police, given the fact that Haryana police has filed an FIR, on the allegations that Rajasthan police misbehaved with the family members of the accused in this case.
All right, thanks for joining us with the very latest details on this. We'll continue to bring you up to speed with the very latest development on this story. It is the car vigilante horror that we're tracking right here on India Today. The big question is, where is Monu Manesar? It's been 5 days since the alleged murder of Junaid and Nasser at the hands of cow vigilantes. Monu Manesar, who is the face of the Gaurakshak movement in Haryana, is of course the prime suspect, but he's absconding. He's at large. A Mahapanchayat was held in Manesar in support of the suspects. Speakers at the meeting warned the Rajasthan police against arresting Monu Manesar and his associates. Here's our report.
Five days on since the alleged murder of Junaid and Nasser, prime suspect Gaurakshak Monu Manesar is still on the run. On his home turf, Haryana, a Mahapanchayat is held in his favour and passions run high.
अगर राजस्थान पुलिस ने हमारे साथियों को, उनके परिवार को परेशान किया, तो ये स्पष्ट सुन ले कि वो राजस्थान पुलिस इस मामले में आएगी तो अपने पांव से, लेकिन वापस अपने पांव से नहीं जा पाएगी।
गोरक्षक दल हमारे से ज्यादा काम कर रहे हैं। जब पुलिस को लगा तो इन पूरे गोरक्षकों को हथियार मुहैया कराए, इनके लाइसेंस दिए गए। अब मैं आगे की बात पा रहा हूं, क्यों उनकी अपनी नाकामी को छिपाने के लिए तो पहले इनको हथियार दिए गए, इनको लाइसेंस दिए गए। अब ये जो कह रहे हैं कि भाई इनके लाइसेंस कैंसिल किए जाए, ये बहुत गलत बात है, क्योंकि आज ये हिंदू धर्म की रक्षा कर रहे हैं, गौ माता की रक्षा कर रहे हैं। आज मोनू मानेसर की टीम को हथियारों की सबसे ज्यादा जरूरत है और पुलिस कौन से राज्य की है अभी फिलहाल।
The Mahapanchayat held on Tuesday called for funds to provide Monu Manesar legal defence.
हमारी प्रशासन से मुख्य मांग जो आज हमारी पंचायत थी वो इस विषय पे थी कि जो हमारे भाई मोनू पे जो ये झूठा केस दर्ज किया गया है, ये एक षड्यंत्र के तहत ये केस दर्ज किया गया है, उसको फंसाने का काम किया है, वो निर्दोष है। तो हमने प्रशासन से और सरकार से ये मांग की है कि उसकी सीबीआई जांच करवाई जाए और दूध का दूध पानी का पानी किया जाए, क्योंकि हमारा भाई बिल्कुल निर्दोष है। कमेटी भी बनाई है, पैसा भी इकट्ठा किया, क्योंकि वो हमारा भाई है, वो समाज के लिए लड़ रहा है।
The Delhi-Jaipur highway is blocked briefly by his supporters as rumours spread about a Rajasthan police team coming to raid Monu Manesar's residence. Out of the 9 accused in the murder, only 1 has been arrested so far. Some of them are allegedly informers of the Haryana police. Monu himself is the face of Haryana government's Gauraksha drive. There are many photographs of him posing with senior police officers of the state. The FIR filed by Rajasthan police based on the complaints by the families of Junaid and Nasser claims the crime investigation agency of Haryana police in Nuh district colluded with the suspects.
क्योंकि एलिगेशंस सीरियस हैं, इसलिए हमने अपने तौर पे भी हमारे एडिशनल एसपी नूह श्रीमती उषा कुंडू जी को हमने इसकी जांच सौंपी है, जिसमें जो भी तथ्य है सोशल मीडिया चैनलों के ऊपर या कहीं से भी आए हैं उनके पास, तो इस संबंध में गंभीरता से जांच करते हुए इसमें जो भी सच्चाई है, अगर कोई भी लापरवाही हमारी पुलिस के द्वारा की गई है तो उसकी भी हम रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फिक्स करेंगे। तो ये भी हमने अपनी तरफ से जांच कमेटी बिठा दी है।
The whole investigation is getting messy. The family of a suspect, Shrikant, claims that his wife suffered miscarriage after being manhandled by Rajasthan cops.
श्रीकांत जो है उनकी मदर के द्वारा, दुलारी जी के द्वारा ये कंप्लेंट दी गई है। इस संबंध में तुरंत प्रभाव से पुलिस द्वारा जांच अमल में लाई गई है। रात को भी मेडिकल रिकॉर्ड्स के लिए और छानबीन के लिए हमारी पुलिस गई थी और आज भी वो कंटिन्यू चल रही है हमारी जांच। तो जांच के बाद, डॉक्टर की ओपिनियन के बाद ही हम उसमें आगे अग्रिम कार्रवाई कर सकते हैं।
Kidnapped from Rajasthan, murdered in Haryana. Bodies of Junaid and Nasir were found in their charred Bolero in Bhiwani. Results of DNA samples collected from the skeletal remains are still awaited. Junaid and Nasir are alleged victims of the Gauraksha movement in Haryana. But the suspects are roaming free. Who is shielding Monu Manesar? With Rahul Gautam in Manesar, Bureau Report, India Today.
Breaking news coming in. Sanjay Raut's statement has been taken by Thane police with respect to his allegation yesterday that Shrikant Shinde has given a supari to one Raja Thakur to kill him. He had tweeted a letter asking Devendra Fadnavis to look into it. So there you go, Sanjay Raut's statement recorded by Thane police. The allegation by him was that Shrikant Shinde has given a supari to a Raja Thakur to kill him. It's a big sensational death threat claim which is being made by Sanjay Raut. He also tweeted a letter asking the Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis to look into this. We'll get you more information on this in moments from now, but it's a sensational allegation leveled by Sanjay Raut, and his statement has now been recorded with the Thane police.
आज सुबह से ही मुझे ये पता चला, मुझे माननीय उद्धव ठाकरे साहब ने भी इस बारे में अवगत किया था कि ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है, मेरे कान पर आ रहा है। शिंदे गुट के एक सांसद श्रीकांत शिंदे ने संजय राउत को ख़त्म करने की एक सुपारी, जिसे बोलते हैं यहाँ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किलिंग, एक माफिया जो अभी अभी जमानत पर छूटा है, राजा ठाकुर उनका नाम है, उनको ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किलिंग का काम दिया है। तो मेरा एक कर्तव्य बनता है इस राज्य के बुद्धिमान गृहमंत्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी, मुंबई के पुलिस कमिश्नर, थाने शहर के पुलिस कमिश्नर को अवगत करना चाहिए। आज सुबह से ही मुझे ये पता चला, मुझे माननीय उद्धव ठाकरे साहब ने भी इस बारे में अवगत किया था कि ऐसा कुछ हो रहा है, मेरे कान पर आ रहा है। शिंदे गुट के एक सांसद श्रीकांत शिंदे ने संजय राउत को ख़त्म करने की एक सुपारी, जिसे बोलते हैं यहाँ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किलिंग, एक माफिया जो अभी अभी जमानत पर छूटा है, राजा ठाकुर उनका नाम है, उनको ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किलिंग का काम दिया है। तो मेरा एक कर्तव्य बनता है इस राज्य के बुद्धिमान गृहमंत्री देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी, मुंबई के पुलिस कमिश्नर, थाने शहर के पुलिस कमिश्नर को अवगत करना चाहिए।
Sanjay Raut is such a person who sleeps in the night. He has some dreams, and whatever he sees in the dreams, he talks to the press at 9 o'clock. I think the proper solution for these kind of people is that he is out on a bail. One has to see whether he has broken the conditions given for granting him a stay. In that case, his bail should be cancelled and he should be arrested and put into jail.
Another attempt in Delhi to elect the mayor. There's some ruckus that is taking place. Amit Bhardwaj is getting us all the latest details. Take it away, Amit. What's going on?
Well, Chati, today the proceedings at the Civic Centre where the mayoral polls is supposed to take place was expected to be smooth. But right now there's a lot of hangama and ruckus happening on the ground floor of the Civic Centre where you have the Aam Aadmi Party MCD leaders as well as the Aam Aadmi Party Delhi unit leaders, arguing with the Delhi police officials, asking them to allow them on the top floors of the Civic Centre where the MCD's house is located right there. This is Adil Khan, the leader of Aam Aadmi Party's Delhi unit, holds a very important post as far as the MCD proceedings are concerned. The working of the councillors are concerned, and he is constantly arguing with the Delhi police, asking them to allow to the upper floors of the Civic Centre. The bone of contention is that, as per Aam Aadmi Party leaders, Vijender Gupta, who is the BJP MLA, was allowed on the top floor of the Civic Centre. Now, Aam Aadmi Party leaders are saying that if you are allowing the BJP leaders, how can you stop the Aam Aadmi Party workers from reaching the upper floors of the house? But as far as the proceedings of the house is concerned, the house will begin shortly. Right there on the screen, you will see these are the visuals coming from inside the house of the MCD. The proceeding of this MCD house will begin a few minutes from now, when the presiding officer Satya Sharma will begin the mayoral proceedings of the mayoral polls from a few minutes from here. In the center of the house is Atishi, the senior leader of Aam Aadmi Party, interacting with the mayoral candidate of Aam Aadmi Party, Shelley Oberoi. But right outside the MCD house, what is happening is there's a complete ruckus. The Delhi police jawans are stopping the Aam Aadmi Party leaders from reaching the upper floors of the Civic Centre. And this confrontation, we can see Kuldeep Kumar, the MLA from Aam Aadmi Party, is right there constantly arguing with the police, asking permission to go on the top floor. Kuldeep, किस बात को लेके बवाल चल रहा है यहाँ पे, हंगामा क्यों कर रहे हैं?
जो लोग सदन के मेंबर नहीं है, उन लोगों को ऊपर एंट्री दी गई है क्योंकि वो भाजपा के लोग हैं। ये बिल्कुल सरासर गलत है। अगर जिनके पास एमसीडी के पास है, जिनके पास वोटिंग राइट्स है, उन लोगों को जाने की अनुमति दी जाए। लेकिन पुलिस के साथ मिलकर जिस प्रकार की गुंडागर्दी की जा रही है, वो गलत है, वो दुखद है। इस प्रकार से नहीं करना चाहिए। अगर आपने जिन विधायकों को ऊपर भेजा है भाजपा के, वो गलत है।
विरोध किस बात को लेके है कि बीजेपी के विधायक को अलाउ किया गया या आप लोगों को रोका जा रहा है?
उनको अलाउ किया गया और जो हमारे लोग हैं उनको रोका जा रहा है। जो बीजेपी के लोग हैं उनको अलाउ किया गया अंदर। ये दुखद है। इस प्रकार से
क्या कार्रवाई होगी?
नहीं, धरने होने में नहीं बैठे, हम तो बात कर रहे हैं पुलिस से, केवल बात कर रहे हैं, बातचीत कर रहे हैं उन लोगों से।
So right there, you heard Kuldeep Kumar, he is the MLA from Aam Aadmi Party, is saying that they have two problems with the security forces deployed here, the Delhi police deployed here. Number one is that how are MLA from the BJP who does not has the membership or the nomination in the house, how is he being allowed on the upper floors of the Civic Centre? The other problem is that why are the Aam Aadmi Party...
Okay, Amit, if you could just walk around and show us the kind of ruckus that is going on over there as well, we'd appreciate it.
Right, Chati. I'll show you as to what was happening right here. This is the security layer which has been, put up to ensure that there is no problem in the proceedings of the House when the fourth time the mayoral elections will take place. This is and the two escalators are located here from where you can go to the upper floors of the Civic Centre where the MCD's house is located. But these policemen, the security deployed here, there are allegations that they allowed the BJP MLA Vijender Gupta in this case and stopped Aam Aadmi Party workers right there. You could see, the passes are being shown. This is the process. So anybody who has those pass of the house will be allowed to go upstairs. Now, Aam Aadmi Party workers who have assembled here, right here you can see, they assembled here in big numbers, constantly asking that they should be allowed inside the house. And that confrontation was continuing. But as of now, there's a they are calculating as to what is to be done. All these people that you are seeing out here are from Aam Aadmi Party. That is Adil Khan, who holds an important post as far as the proceedings of Aam Aadmi Party's MCD affairs are concerned. And here you could see the security has been beefed up. You have the CRP Jawans deployed out here. You also have BSF Jawans as well as the SSB Jawans who have been brought in, and all these para forces have been brought in to ensure that nobody is allowed to disrupt the proceeding of the mayoral polls today. Remember, Chaiti, this is the fourth time when the mayoral elections, the proceedings for the mayoral elections will happen. For the past 3 times, all attempts have failed because of the ruckus inside the house. But today, even before the proceeding could begin inside the house, there's ruckus outside the house at the Civic Center where Aam Aadmi Party, workers are protesting. Adil, you hold a very important post in the Aam Aadmi Party as far as the MCD affairs are concerned. Why this ruckus even before the proceeding has begun?
देखिए, दिल्ली पुलिस ने हम सबको यहाँ बताया कि जो लोग सदन के मेंबर हैं वही सदन में जा सकते हैं। हम लोग चुपचाप यहाँ खड़े हो गए। हम चाहते हैं कि माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट के आदेश के बाद ये चुनाव जितने भी अच्छे तरीके से हो पाए, जितने भी सरल तरीके से हो जाए, हम सब लोग उसका सम्मान करते हुए हम लोग यहाँ खड़े हो गए। हमने देखा कि हमारे सामने भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कई नेता, विजेंद्र गुप्ता समेत कई लोग ऊपर चले गए। दिल्ली पुलिस ने उनको ऊपर जाने दिया। तो ये पूरी तरीके से
पास नहीं था, क्योंकि हम देख रहे हैं पास के बाद ही जाने दिया जा रहा है।
देखिए, वो सारा ना तो विजेंद्र गुप्ता जी सदन के मेंबर हैं, ना विधायक है, ना उनके पास कोई पास था। उनके साथ कई लोगों को दिल्ली पुलिस ने ऊपर जाने दिया है। हमारी ये मांग है कि हम सारे लोग यहाँ नीचे खड़े हैं, हम सम्मान करते हैं कोर्ट का। तो आखिर दिल्ली पुलिस भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेताओं को सदन में क्यों जाने दे रही है? आखिर क्या मनसा है?
आप लोगों का प्रयास तो ये होना चाहिए ना कि आज जो प्रोसीडिंग है वो स्मूथली हो जाए। सुप्रीम कोर्ट से आप लोग फाइनली जजमेंट लेके आए अपने फेवर में ताकि मेयर का चुनाव हो पाए।
हम सारे लोग यही तो कह रहे हैं। हम कह रहे हैं कि हम लोग यहाँ बाहर खड़े हैं। आप जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेताओं को, जो सदन के मेंबर नहीं है, जिनके पास पास नहीं है, उनको भी बाहर बुला लीजिए। हम सिर्फ यही चाहते हैं।
Chaiti, you just heard them. They are saying that those who hold the pass should be allowed to go on the upper floors of the civic center, but who do not have the passes shouldn't be allowed by the security forces, and there should be no discrimination whether they belong from Aam Aadmi Party or the BJP. Back to you, Chaiti.
All right, so this is the 4th attempt, Amit, if I'm not mistaken. Delhi has not had a mayor and still all these issues have not been ironed out.
Right, Chaiti. You know, the mayoral elections were conducted in December itself along with the state assembly elections of Himachal and Gujarat. But after that, there was a delay in election of the declaration of the date for election of the mayor, Delhi United MCD. And eventually, when the mayoral election polls started, 3 attempts, there was complete ruckus in the house. Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP at loggerheads. Aam Aadmi Party trained guns at BJP councillors, MLAs, saying that they are the ones not allowing the house to continue. And the 3rd attempt failed because Aam Aadmi Party councillors said that, aldermen cannot get the voting right inside the house. Now, the matter went to the Supreme Court. Aam Aadmi Party's arguments were taken up, upheld by the Supreme Court, that aldermen cannot get, the nominated members cannot get the voting right, that the mayor presiding officer will conduct only the mayoral polls, and after that the mayor will conduct the election for the deputy mayor and standing committee members. So Aam Aadmi Party had, won their case in Supreme Court. This is the 4th time when the mayoral elections proceeding will happen in the house, but apparently there is hangama outside the house even before the proceedings could begin. We'll show you 2 visuals. This is the ground floor of the Civic Center where the MCD house is located. Look at the number of Aam Aadmi Party workers standing out here. They are saying, anybody without passes should not be allowed on the upper floors of the Civic Center where the MCD house is located. And you see the Delhi police has called up paramilitary forces, beefed up the security on the escalators to ensure no illegal entry is made. On the other side, the second visual that is coming is of the
If
MCD
you could also
house.
explain the Supreme Court ruling as well, Amit, because there was a decisive victory for Aam Aadmi Party in the Supreme Court.
Right, Chaiti. The bone of contention in the entire matter was whether the nominated members will get voting right or not. The presiding officer, Satya Sharma, who is also a councillor from the BJP, had said in the House a couple of things which had created complete ruckus, mismanagement in the House. Number one, bone of contention was that Satya Sharma, the presiding officer, ruled that the nominated members, the 10 aldermen, will get voting right. Aam Aadmi Party protested. The second part was Satya Sharma wanted to conduct the mayor, deputy mayor and standing committee elections all at once, and she wanted to conduct these elections on her own. The third problem which erupted in the third proceeding was that leaders facing corruption charges and conviction should not be allowed inside the House, and that decision was taken in the last moment, and that's where the problem had escalated and the House was adjourned. This matter went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court judgment says very clearly that the nominated members cannot cast vote in the House, which means all these aldermen will not get the voting right today. And the Supreme Court order came, in accordance with the Constitution's Article 243R, which says that while people who have expertise of civil governance should be sent in the civic body as nominated members, but these nominated members will not have voting rights.
So now on the back of this ruling, Amit, to put perspective on what's going on for our viewers, explain to us where the numbers stand, because clearly it looks like it's not gone in BJP's favor, because if the aldermen indeed were allowed to vote, would that have been advantage BJP in terms of the numbers? If you could break down what the majority mark is and how many votes does the AAP have, BJP have, etc.
Right. Chaiti, look, Delhi civic body is a very powerful civic body in the way, the kind of population it represents, the amount of money that it has, and the amount of social capital that its councillors exercise. There are 250 seats in the MCD, 250 elected members in the MCD, and along with that, 10 MPs from Delhi, that is 7 Lok Sabha MPs and the 3 Rajya Sabha MPs are allowed to be member of the MCD. So it makes increases the count to 260, and then 1/5 of the Delhi Assembly, that is 14 MLAs, are also allowed in the House, are accepted as the members of the House. So that increases the number by 14 numbers, 274. Now there are 10 nominated members, but they do not have the voting right. So as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, they have 134 seats in the MCD. Along with that, they have 3 Rajya Sabha MPs and 13 MLAs on their side. So their number is anything beyond 150. And as far as the BJP is concerned, their numbers is quite less. BJP had won near about 404 seats. Along with that, they have 1 MLA and 7 Lok Sabha MPs. So in that case, they have the total numbers that the BJP has in its pockets is around 113. So they have much lesser numbers as far as the dynamics are concerned. These 10 aldermen could have actually changed the number game, and it would have increased the possibility as to whether there could be cross voting, because remember, Chaiti, in the MCD there's no anti-defection law, which means you might be from A party or B party, but you can vote for whichever candidate you want. So there is always a possibility of cross voting, and this had become a big controversy as to whether cross voting could happen inside the MCD house, whether somebody from Aam Aadmi Party could vote for the BJP when the aldermen were allowed to cast their vote. But now, Chaiti, the situation has changed. Aam Aadmi Party has brute majority as far as the mayoral and deputy mayoral posts are concerned. BJP does not have the number right now, but there are 3 elections which are supposed to happen. One is the mayor election, the other is deputy mayor post, and the third is the standing committee. Now, standing committee is considered to be the most powerful body of the MCD. It is the committee which has all sanctioning powers, authorities with it. So even if the mayor passes a proposal, it has to get its sanction from the standing committee, and that's where the number game changes. The Aam Aadmi party might be able to get the mayoral and deputy mayoral post, but in the standing committee where 6 members are to be elected, it is a very critical game where, Aam Aadmi party has fielded 4 candidates, the BJP has fielded 3 candidates. So if BJP gets 50% of the seats in the standing committee, it will be a really critical situation for Aam Aadmi party to continue its governance in the MCD, because every proposal, every budget, financial expansion or financial allocation, it has to get the green signal of the standing committee, where the BJP
so what,
will exercise
when you talk about the standing
power.
committee, you're talking about 6 seats, right? You're talking about 6 seats when it comes to the standing committee. At the moment, what is what does the breakdown look like in terms of the likelihood of AAP getting how many seats, BJP getting how many seats, and also the big battle of how the 6th seat is going to be the decisive one?
Right. Chaiti, look, Aam Aadmi party has fielded 4 candidates for the standing committee. There are total 6 members who can be elected in the standing committee. Aam Aadmi party has fielded 4 candidates, assuming that the kind of numbers they have, they will be able to get only 4 members elected. And on the other side, the BJP, despite having lesser numbers, have fielded 3 candidates, hoping that in the standing committee they might be able to manage the floor, because they have more experience, they know this house, how the house operates, whether there's going to be cross-voting. Those are questions which needs to be responded. So all 3 elections, the mayor election will happen separately, deputy mayor and standing committee elections will happen separately. There will be 3 voting inside the house. So the BJP will want at least to get its 3 members elected, but if everything goes...
All right, big breaking news coming in. Hold on right there, Amit, we're coming back to you. Big breaking news coming in. Hijab petitioners have approached the Supreme Court. Let's bring that breaking news for you. Hijab petitioners have approached the Supreme Court seeking permission for some girl students to give their examinations wearing hijab. Group of girl students from Karnataka have moved the Supreme Court seeking permission to give their examination wearing the hijab. Pre-university examinations in Karnataka are expected to begin from 9th of March. The CJI has assured the petitioners that he will look into the matter and form a bench. Kanu Sharda will be joining us on this story for the very latest on this. The hijab petitioners approaching the apex court seeking permission for some of the girl students to give their examinations, or rather take their examinations wearing the hijab. A group of girl students from Karnataka have moved the Supreme Court seeking permission to write their examinations while wearing the hijab. Kanu Sharda is now joining us. Kanu, is this for just about a few women? So it comes back to their choice whether they want to wear it or not wear it, and that's exactly what it seems like they've approached the Supreme Court for.
Yes, Chaiti, the group of girls have approached the Supreme Court. This is not the first time that the girls have approached. Earlier in January 23rd also, the same plea was mentioned before the Chief Justice of India, seeking an urgent intervention into the case. But since now the matter is, the exams are listed for 9th of March, these girls are not willing to give the exams without wearing their headscarves, and the institution is not allowing them as per the government order issued of not wearing the headscarves in the institutions. So these girls have approached the Supreme Court again and seeking an urgent intervention so that they don't lose their academic year once again. And the Chief Justice of India today has categorically said that he will see the matter. So it is more likely that in the coming days we will see some kind of hearing into this matter, because the 2-judge bench had given a split verdict, and no consensus was reached to resolve the headscarf issue in Karnataka.
All right, so when is this matter going to be coming up for hearing? Because the CJI, of course, has assured the petitioners that he is going to be looking into it and forming a bench. Any kind of timeline and indication on that front?
Yes, Chaiti, all what Chief Justice of India said in the open court is that he is not. He will see to what is the urgency, and since the Constitution bench is sitting where the Chief Justice of India is a part of it, and it is a time-consuming process. Chief Justice of India has said that he will see when the matter could be listed, but since the exams are starting from 9th of March, the case is likely to be listed before that.
Okay, so it's likely to be listed before the examinations take place at the moment, and that's the latest coming in. Kanu's bringing us these details that these are some girls who have approached the Supreme Court wanting permission to write their examinations wearing the hijab, and the group of students from Karnataka have moved the Supreme Court now seeking permission to write their examinations while wearing a hijab. Kanu, if you could tell us about the earlier rulings of the Supreme Court on this front to give us a perspective to our viewers in terms of where we stand.
Split verdict by the Supreme Court. Two-judge bench had one judge agreed that there should be complete review of the present government order of banning the headscarves in the institution. But on the other hand, the judge who has retired has said that the education institutions should follow a proper uniform rules which are there for everybody, and no religion and everything, nothing should come forward for the students to look forward. So the difference of the opinion by the two judges have again sent the matter back to the Supreme Court. A new three-judge bench would be formed now by the Chief Justice of India to hear this matter afresh because there was a split verdict in the case.
All right, we leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us with the very latest. We're getting breaking news coming in, cutting straight across to it. Breaking news just coming in. Sources have indicated popular Kannada actor Anant Nag is going to be joining the Bharatiya Janata Party at 4 p.m. this evening. 75-year-old Kannada actor has acted in over 300 movies in over 5 languages. Anant Nag was a former Karnataka minister in the 1990s. In 2004, he contested against sitting Chief Minister S.M. Krishna from Chamrajapet constituency. He also contested in the Malleshwaram constituency where he lost. So he's going to be joining the BJP at 4 p.m. All eyes on Anant Nag joining the BJP. We'll get you those details as and when they happen. The developments, we'll cut to that when the developments happen. He's a 75-year-old Kannada actor. Over 300 movies in over 5 languages, prolific actor, used to be a former Karnataka minister back in the 90s. He had also in 2004 contested against the sitting Chief Minister from Chamrajapet constituency as well. He has contested from Malleshwaram constituency where he lost. He's all now set to join the Bharatiya Janata Party at 4 p.m. this evening. Our reporter will join us with the latest developments on this story. We'll continue to bring you the latest development in terms of the reasons why he would want to join the BJP. But Anant Nag is all set to join the BJP in Karnataka. That's the latest coming in. This is coming right ahead of the Karnataka elections scheduled. We are getting you latest on him joining the BJP. 4 p.m. this evening is when he will be joining the the BJP, and we'll get you the latest on why the veteran Kannada actor Anant Nag is joining the BJP. This development, of course, comes in right ahead of the elections. This evening is when he will be joining the BJP, is what we are picking up. We'll get you more on the story as soon as our reporter is with us at the moment. Very popular face in Karnataka, from what we understand, and our reporters from down south will be able to get us a better perspective on how popular he is right there. And the latest is that he is all set to join the BJP at 4 p.m. this evening. He's acted in over 300 films, in over 200 Kannada films as well. We'll get you the latest on when and why he's going to be joining the Bharatiya Janata Party. He's had a political career where he was an MLC, MLA, a minister. He served as a Bangalore Urban Development Minister as well. He's contested unsuccessfully from Chamarajapet constituency to... So reasons why he's joining the BJP is something which we are interested in, and that our reporter will join us to bring us up to speed with the development. We're getting some more breaking news, cutting straight across to it. Amidst massive ruckus over the Delhi mayor polls, Aam Aadmi Party mayor candidate Shelly Oberoi breaks silence. Shelly says, hope BJP will honour top court judgment. She says, presiding officer running house illegally. That's the latest coming in. Shelly has... Oberoi has broken silence. Shelly says, hope BJP will honour top court judgment, and presiding officer running the house illegally. This is a big statement coming in, saying that the presiding officer is running the house illegally. Big allegation coming in. All of this amidst massive ruckus over Delhi mayor polls. Amit Bhardwaj spoke to Shelly Oberoi. Listen in.
तीन प्रयासों के बाद भी दिल्ली को अभी तक नहीं मिल पाया था मेयर, यूनाइटेड एमसीडी का मेयर, लेकिन अब जब सुप्रीम कोर्ट से आम आदमी पार्टी को बड़ी राहत मिली है तो उम्मीद ये है कि आज चौथे बारी में दिल्ली में मेयर चुनाव सफलतापूर्वक कराया जा सकेगा। हमारे साथ हैं आम आदमी पार्टी की मेयर चुनाव में उम्मीदवार शैली ओबरॉय। चौथी बार लकी साबित होगा?
जी देखिए, पूरी उम्मीद है, हम आशा करते हैं शांतिपूर्वक ही चुनाव होगा। अब तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने साफ साफ निर्णय दे दिया है कि मनोनीत पार्षद हाउस में वोटिंग नहीं करेंगे, साथ ही तीनों चुनाव इकट्ठे भी नहीं होंगे। पहले मेयर का चुनाव होगा और मेयर ही प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर कुर्सी पर बैठकर डिप्टी मेयर और स्टैंडिंग कमेटी के चेयरमैन का चुनाव करवाएंगे। तो हम पूरी आशा करते हैं आज शांतिपूर्वक हाउस चलना चाहिए और प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट के वर्डिक्ट के हिसाब से, आदेश के हिसाब से मेयर के चुनाव करवाएंगे।
सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने तो तीनों फैसले आपके पक्ष में किया, चाहे वो ऑल्डरमैन का वोटिंग राइट हो या डिप्टी मेयर और स्टैंडिंग कमेटी के वोटिंग कंडक्ट कराने का राइट्स हो। लेकिन सवाल यह है, बीजेपी लगातार इस तरह से इशारे कर रही थी कि आम आदमी पार्टी का खेमा कमजोर पड़ा हुआ है, इस वजह से आप लोग डरे हुए थे।
जी देखिए, अभी तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने अपनी हार को स्वीकार नहीं किया, तभी ऐसी स्टेटमेंट वो दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि वो दिल्ली की जनता ने जो जनादेश दिया है उसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पा रहे, दिल्ली की जनता द्वारा दिया गया मैंडेट है उसको एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पा रहे। तो वो ऑपोजिशन कोई ना कोई बात तो बनाएगा, स्टेटमेंट ऐसी देगा, बट हम पूरी तरह से कॉन्फिडेंट हैं हमारे आम आदमी पार्टी के काउंसलर्स पे, और आज पूरी तरह हमें उम्मीद है और हम कह सकते हैं ये 100% कि आज मेयर, डिप्टी मेयर, स्टैंडिंग कमेटी का चेयरमैन भी आम आदमी पार्टी का ही होगा।
ठीक है, लेकिन जब स्टैंडिंग कमेटी में और डिप्टी मेयर के चुनाव में कितनी उम्मीदें लेके चल रहे हैं, क्योंकि बीजेपी की तरफ से भी ट्वीट आया है, जो आपकी प्रतिद्वंदी हैं वो उम्मीद कर रही हैं कि आप शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से सदन चला पाएंगे।
अच्छा जी, बिल्कुल शांतिपूर्वक। आप पिछली बार देख लीजिए कि किसने हंगामा करा, आप वीडियो फुटेज निकाल कर देख सकते हैं कि प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर गैर कानूनी तरीके से सदन भी वो चला रहे थे और हंगामा भी वो कर रहे थे। हम उस गैर कानूनी और असंवैधानिक तरीके से सदन चल रहा था, हम उसके लिए आवाज उठा रहे थे, और जब प्रिसाइडिंग ऑफिसर ने फिर भी अपनी कोशिश वो गलत तरीके से नहीं छोड़ी तो हमने सुप्रीम कोर्ट का दरवाजा खटखटाया।
आज कोई हुटिंग नहीं होगी?
देखिए, हमारी तरफ से तो नहीं होगी, क्योंकि हम तो चाहते हैं शांतिपूर्वक चुनाव हो, पिछली बार भी हम चाहते थे, और हम भारतीय जनता पार्टी के काउंसलर से भी आशा करते हैं कि अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट का आदेश का पालन करें और सुप्रीम कोर्ट का अपमान ना करें, जैसे वो सदन का, डीएमसी एक्ट का, संविधान का, लोकतंत्र का अपमान कर चुके हैं। धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। तो इतनी शैली ओबरॉय कॉन्फिडेंट है, मानना है कि चौथी बारी में मेयर चुनाव सफलतापूर्वक कराया जा सकेगा, और कह रही हैं कि बीजेपी के पार्षद, इस बार आम आदमी पार्टी की उम्मीद है कि बीजेपी की तरफ से सदन की कार्रवाई को चलने दिया जाएगा।
Okay, you heard Shelly Oberoi right there. Our reporter has also spoken to Harish Khurana. Listen in.
On Snooping case, Delhi BJP did a press conference over it, and also alleged that the storm of this case will also reach to the Arvind Kejriwal, and what is the reason behind it? Joining with the spokesperson Harish Khurana, what do you want to say about this Snooping case? Because permission granted by the Ministry of Home Affairs.
See, BJP welcomes the decision of the Ministry of Home Affairs to prosecute
given the permission of prosecution of Manish Sisodia on the snooping matter. If you remember, since 2015, BJP is raising these issues since quite long. At that time also, this FB unit, feedback unit was been made. BJP opposed it. Secret Service Fund was been made, and amount crores of rupees have been transferred in that Secret Service Fund. BJP raised that issue that time also. And the inquiry, now the inquiry is happening, and 700 people, what we got the news, and that time also there were a lot of people in the media, that 700 people were being snooped, including some politicians, including officers of Delhi government, including some judicial people also, and the media houses also. So when this inquiry will start conducting it, the things will come out, and I think this case will not only go to Manish Sisodia but also to Arvind Kejriwal, because the letter from PKK Mr. Sinha, the officer at that time, clearly states that it was the instruction of the Arvind Kejriwal that time. It was clear instructions, and the reporting was being done directly by the Arvind Kejriwal only. So
on the other hand, Sisodia has clearly said that it is it is a false case, and it is a case against the opponent, and those who are doing this, they are weak and coward.
See, everything that rhetoric is the same. The vendetta politics is going on. I think now is a high time now that Manish Sisodia has to answer these questions. Why this secret fund was been made? How much money was being transferred? I mean, why the feedback unit was being made? Why the equipments for the snooping was being purchased? And how many people were being snooped at that time? I mean, Hindi कहावत तो इधर उधर की बात मत कर, ये बता feedback unit क्यों बनाया गया? इसलिए the same rhetoric was being repeated when Satyendra Jain was being arrested. What has happened? Since last 7 months he's in jail. Vijay Nair case same also. 4 times, not once, not twice, 4 times his bail was being rejected by the court only. So, but the rhetoric was the same. Vendetta politics is going on. I think it's a high time now he has to give the answers now.
So he had to give the answers now, and these are the questions which is asking by the BJP. With camera person Shailendra in Delhi, it's Ram Kinkar Singh for India Today.
All right, my colleague has also spoken to Atishi of the Aam Aadmi Party. Listening to what Atishi has to say on this entire dangle that is going on to elect the mayor of the national capital.
Mayoral polls?
We are hopeful. We hope that the BJP respects the decision of the Supreme Court. We hope that the BJP respects the mandate given by the people of Delhi.
Speaking to India Today, that was Atishi, Aam Aadmi Party senior leader, speaking exclusively to India Today on the issue of CBI getting sanctioned.
Okay, this is the fight for the Delhi mayor going on at the moment. The election today after Aam Aadmi Party's big Supreme Court win, Delhi, in all likelihood, we can only hope gets a new mayor today, because there have been several failed attempts at an election, and right now there is a full dangle going on. There is a full ruckus going on, and Amit has been bringing you all those visuals of the ruckus. The Aam Aadmi Party has accused the Bharatiya Janata Party of gundagiri, while the numbers are indicating that the ruling Aam Aadmi Party has the post in the bag. BJP has indicated that a last-minute surprise is probably likely as well. The elections are being held after a decisive victory that came in for the Aam Aadmi Party from the Supreme Court, if you remember. And Amit just explained the Supreme Court ruling on this as well a while back. The mayoral elections have been postponed thrice, because of course you can see the prolonged tussle that is going on between the Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP. In fact, India Today also spoke to Shelly Oberoi, to Harish Khurana, to Atishi also. We can play those reactions out in case you want to get a perspective on what they have to say. And we will get you the latest. This is after the election of the mayor, the deputy mayor, and 6 members of the standing committee are also going to be elected today itself. That is just in case everything goes well. Heavy security has been deployment right now. BJP mayoral candidate Rekha Gupta has exclusively spoken to my colleague Amit Bharadwaj. Let's listen into what Rekha Gupta has to say.
आज दिल्ली के एमसीडी हाउस में चौथी बार मेयर चुनाव कराने की कोशिश की जाएगी। हमारे साथ हैं बीजेपी की मेयर कैंडिडेट रेखा गुप्ता। आप पहले कई बार आज तक से बातचीत करते वक्त दावा कर चुकी थी कि ऑल्डरमैन को वोटिंग का अधिकार है, आपकी पार्टी का अलग इंटरप्रिटेशन था। ये सारे आर्गुमेंट सुप्रीम कोर्ट में धराशायी हो गए। अब आप लोग एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं जो जजमेंट आया उसको?
देखिए, जो भी जजमेंट आया है वो हमें मान्य है। हम आम आदमी पार्टी की तरह नहीं है कि अगर जजमेंट हमारे फेवर में आए तो हाँ करें और ना आए तो कह दे कि जी केंद्र सरकार और मोदी जी और कोर्ट मिले हुए हैं। तो आम आदमी पार्टी का एक अपना नज़रिया है। हमें पूरी तरीके से जो जजमेंट है वो मान्य है और हम उसी तरीके से आज का चुनाव लड़ेंगे।
आंकड़े आपके फेवर में नहीं है, आम आदमी पार्टी के पास ब्रूट मेजॉरिटी है। ऐसे में अब मेयरल चुनाव में कैंडिडेट के तौर पे जाने को लेकर कितना सही फैसला है?
देखिए, ना आम आदमी पार्टी के पास में ज़्यादा आंकड़े हैं, ना भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पास कम है। हर पार्षद का अपना वोट है जो उसके हाथ में है, वो किसे देना चाहता है। यदि उसको लगता है कि दिल्ली की बेहतरी के लिए मुझे ए पर्सन को वोट देना है तो वो ए को देगा, उसको बी को देना है तो
क्रॉस वोटिंग हो सकता है, आप कह रही हैं?
देखिए, क्रॉस वोटिंग क्या होती है? अपना वोट देना है व्यक्ति को। और मैं ऐसे बहुत सारे पार्षदों को जानती हूँ जिन्हें ये बुरा लगता है आम आदमी पार्टी के मुखिया जो पानी पी पी करके कोसते हैं प्रधानमंत्री जी को। क्या दिल्ली और देश ये नहीं जानते कि प्रधानमंत्री जी ने, केंद्र सरकार ने दिल्ली के लिए कितने काम किए हैं? कोविड जैसी महामारी से देश में से निकाल करके लेके आए हैं।
ज्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस किस पोस्ट को लेके? मेयर, डिप्टी मेयर, स्टैंडिंग कमेटी?
सभी के लिए मुझे लगता है कि एक टीम के नाते पूरा का पूरा सिस्टम जीतेगा, तभी ढंग से काम हो पाएगा। थैंक यू।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। तो ये थी रेखा गुप्ता, बीजेपी।
So Rekha Gupta is joining us for the latest, has joined us for the latest on this. A quick reaction coming in from Rekha Gupta as well. In fact, we've also spoken to several Aam Aadmi Party leaders on this entire tussle that is going on. Who will be the next Delhi mayor? When will we get a next Delhi mayor? All of these are big questions unanswered at the moment. Given the kind of tussle that is going on even now, despite the ruling, clear ruling that is coming from the Supreme Court. Heavy security deployment in MCD House, as you can see. There you go. You can see lots of tussle going on over there. And if we have Amit with us, he can walk us through the visuals that are coming in, because the Aam Aadmi Party has accused BJP of gundagiri at the moment. Delhi probably and most likely may just end up getting a mayor today, but all that depends on how they all behave and whether this dangal subsides or not. At the moment, there's absolute ruckus right there. We'll get you the latest in terms of what is happening as we go along the way. Another big setback for Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. The Ministry of Home Affairs has given a sanction to prosecute Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia in an alleged snooping case after the CBI request was approved by Delhi LG VK Saxena. The CBI sought sanctions to register an FIR against Sisodia, who heads the Vigilance Department of Delhi government. The feedback unit was created under the department in 2015 after the AAP came to power in Delhi. It's alleged the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal moved the proposal in a cabinet meeting in 2015, but no agenda note was circulated. No sanction from the LG was taken for appointments to the feedback unit, and the unit was allegedly used to spy on individuals, opposition parties, etc. A mega political war has erupted over MHA nod with the BJP.
Unfortunately, the Aam Aadmi Party will start playing the victimhood card. The old victimhood card that they've played whenever there is any kind of action on corruption, whether it's Sharab Ghotala, Hawala Ghotala, Kaksha Ghotala, Bus Ghotala, Classroom Ghotala, they have always played the victimhood card. This victimhood card won't do. They must come and answer the questions, because their victimhood card has proven to be a fake card. None of the cases have been quashed by the courts of law, and today they must answer the questions that are being posed to them, not try to run away from them.
शराब के घोटाले में अभियुक्त नंबर 1 मनीष सिसोदिया ने अभी 2 दिन पहले ही सीबीआई से परमिशन मांगी है कि मेरे को थोड़ा समय दे दो। और अब ये जासूसी का घोटाला, सरकारी तंत्र का इस्तेमाल करके अपने विपक्ष का और अपने ही पार्टी के नेताओं की जासूसी करना। मैं यहां पर यह बात कहना चाहता हूं कि ये जो स्नूपिंग केस है, इस केस के सच जब सामने आएंगे तो बहुत सारे लोगों को हैरानी होने वाली है, क्योंकि आम आदमी पार्टी में केजरीवाल और मनीष सिसोदिया ने सरकार की स्नूपिंग मशीनरी तैयार की अपने ही पार्टी के पीएसी के मेंबर्स के जासूसी करने के लिए। मुझे लगता है कि जरा भी नैतिकता बची होगी तो मनीष सिसोदिया अपनी कुर्सी से इस्तीफा देकर इन भ्रष्टाचार के आरोपों का सामना करेंगे।
बीजेपी वेलकम्स द डिसीजन ऑफ मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ अफेयर्स टू प्रोसिक्यूट अरविंद केजरीवाल, मनीष सिसोदिया on this matter. If you remember, BJP was raising this issue since quite long when this matter came in for
snooping of the leaders, snooping of media houses, snooping of officers, snooping of, in fact, the judges also. We are clearly alleging that the snooping has been done over more than 700 people. And the secret service fund was being allocated. Funds were being allocated illegally. This issue was being raised long back by BJP only, and we welcome that. And now, when the prosecution has been granted now, Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia has to give a lot of answers on why he done this, why he made the feedback unit and appointed the illegal officers from Bihar, Kerala and all. He has to give a lot of replies now. And I think that the day is not very far when these people are behind the bars also.
That's it from me, Chaiti Narula, on this broadcast. Keep watching India Today. Joining you in moments from now with all the latest developments.
You are watching India Today.
तो जैसे सबसे तेज आपकी टैगलाइन है, तो इसी तरह से सबसे तेज हमारी सरकार की लाइफलाइन है.
Leader must have a vision.
We will continue to work with the developing and the developed world for win-win solutions.
Nature had of course willed the survival of the fittest.
हम आतंकवाद के खिलाफ जीरो टॉलरेंस की पॉलिसी को अपनाए हुए हैं.
एक साल के अंदर राहुल कन्वर की कार जो होगी वो इलेक्ट्रिक की होगी.
There is a confrontation of competing visions.
There are some big names in the art world, like the ones from the progressive modern masters like Raza, Souza, Gaitonde, Hussain, etc. Some collect them as assets, some as vanity, some for the snob value, some for the emotional appeal. They appreciate well and fetch returns. Same with select contemporary artworks. Then there is a whole pool of emerging contemporary artists who cannot just be viewed from the lens of valuations. One such artist at the India Art Fair happened to be Vikrant Pisse. His art reiterates his commitment to the revolutionary spirit of Baba Saheb Ambedkar. His work focuses on making powerful social commentary. The fabric of revolutionary times exuded. From his work, the call to action to uphold constitutional rights, to a social commentary on casteism with the Dalits in India, to depicting the landmark Rohit Vermila suicide case, the artist is working on a series on the legacy of the Dalit Panther movement in India. His iconography is informed and deliberate in radicality. A force of change to reckon with, Bhise's work stands out at the India Art Fair. In New Delhi, Chaiti Narula for India Today.
This is a pork curry. The people vote for us based on what the ideologies that we have. What do the young of Shillong want?
I just want to go out of Meghalaya.
If you're standing by the people, then expect people to stand by you.
In 30 years of doing political rallies, I've never quite seen anything like this.
And we would like to be king, not a kingmaker.
The future's not ours. Whatever happens in its politics, we will celebrate with music and food.
तो जैसे सबसे तेज आपकी टैगलाइन है, तो इसी तरह से सबसे तेज हमारी सरकार की लाइफलाइन है.
Thank Mr. Puri.
I thank you for giving me the chance to address you.
Terrorism now a global issue.
The First Lady position is so unusual.
Never in my career did I ever see that love and affection in any other country than we saw in India in '79.
Pakistan has been responsible chronically for association with sponsorship of terrorist groups.
Watching India Today.
Breaking news coming in. Fourth attempt to elect a new Delhi mayor is underway. Process to elect Delhi mayoral polls underway. Mayor election process to continue for 1.5 hours. The big question here is, will Delhi finally get a new mayor? No mobiles or pens allowed during the voting process is on. Amit Bhardwaj is joining us. Amit, does it look likely that Delhi is going to get a new mayor, or is it going to be another one where we have to wait, because there have been 3 failed attempts before this?
Well, Chati, as of now, it looks like the wait for Delhiwalas is going to get over today. The mayoral poll voting is underway right now. In fact, 2 major chunks of the voters, there are 3 sections of voters in the MCD house. One is the elected MPs and then is the MLAs who have the voting rights in the MCD house, and then the third section are the newly elected councillors. Now, what we are given to understand that the MPs, including Hansraj Hans, Vinakshi Lekhi, have casted their vote. In fact, these two have left the civic centre after casting their vote as well. And right now on the screen you will see the MLAs of the house are casting their vote right now. There are 14 MLAs. That's Durgesh Pathak from Aam Aadmi Party, who's the in charge of the MCD affairs. He's now going to cast his vote. On the other side I can see Sanjeev Jha, another Aam Aadmi Party MLA, who is in the line to cast his vote. Right there the ballot box has been kept. The box that you are seeing is the ballot box for the mayoral poll. Durgesh Pathak has already casted his vote. Atishi has casted the vote. Now, the 14 MLAs who have gotten the representation and the membership in the MCD house are casting their vote. So, after this round of voting gets over, that is the MP voting and the MLAs voting gets over, the councillors, the newly elected councillors will cast their vote. In fact, right now, many of the supporters of both parties are standing outside. They are looking at the screen, from where they can see as to what is happening inside the house. So everybody is curious today to understand whether Delhi will get its MLA, the first MLA of the United MCD today or not, because there have been 3 failed attempts. 4th attempt is being made today, and all preparations for a smooth.
So the first vote has been cast by Meenakshi Lekhi. Meenakshi Lekhi casting her first vote over there. So the voting process has begun, and Amit, we're looking at this finally perhaps becoming successful, this attempt.
Right, Chaiti. Meenakshi Lekhi, Hansraj Hans, Parvez Singh Verma, Parvez Sahib Singh Verma, all these MPs have casted their vote. So the voting process of the MCD mayoral polls has already begun. First, the 10 MPs, that is the 7 Lok Sabha MPs and the 3 Rajya Sabha MPs were asked to cast their vote. Sanjay Singh, who is Aam Aadmi Party's Rajya Sabha MP, he has also casted his vote. So as far as the big faces of Delhi are concerned, Meenakshi Lekhi, Hansraj Hans, Parvez Sahib Singh Verma, Sanjay Singh, all these people have already casted their vote. Now it is the time for MLAs to cast their vote. In fact, the voting process in which the MLAs are being asked to cast their vote is happening right now. Sanjeev Jha has casted his vote. He is Vice President of the Delhi unit of Aam Aadmi Party. He is also offering congratulations to his party members right there. The ballot box that you are seeing, the box where this gentleman in white kurta is casting the vote, that is a Aam Aadmi Party MLA. He just casted his vote. So remember, in this entire process, Chaiti, there is only one vote from the BJP. It is the only one member from the BJP who will get the right to cast his vote. There's another announcement coming from the presiding officer's table right now. So the third phase, what I believe the third phase of the voting will begin in the House soon, where the newly elected councillors will be asked to come forward one after other and cast their vote. And right outside, Chaiti, I'll show you as to how people are looking at the screen at the Civic Center, making sure they are hoping that this time around there is no ruckus and that Delhi walas get their, elected mayor this time around, because for the past 3 times, efforts have been made, but because of the ruckus, the mayor elections were not conducted successfully.
Apologies about that interruption right there, but we're getting a breaking news coming in from down south. We'll have to cut across to it. Tamil Nadu ban on holy ashen thread. School ruckus over ban on holy thread. That's the breaking news coming in. The school bans applying holy potu on forehead. Parents versus principal face-off has been caught on camera. The principal says students cannot wear the holy thread. Tamil Nadu Education Department denies stringent order. Pramod Madhav is now joining us live. What's going on, Pramod? Why is the school objecting to the holy potu? What is the significance, and how are the parents objecting? Because this is not just about one holy thread. Then this larger debate then goes on to other religions in the country as well, where there is another story we're breaking about the hijab row as well. Some students want to wear hijab and write exams, and some of these students want to wear a potu. What's going on?
Chaiti, this is where, the first thing is that we spoke to senior officials from the State Education Department, where they have made it very clear that there is no such stringent government order stating that students are not allowed to wear holy ash or kumkum on their forehead. But what has happened over here, it seems that this particular principal is citing a GO which we could not actually source out, and she claims she has also told the parents that boys in specific are not allowed to wear kumkum because there's a GO, but we don't find any GO like that. There is a GO which is not allowing color-coded threads, not holy threads, but color-coded threads on your hands over here, because that was at one point used to denote caste. So that was actually questioned, but not this form. In fact, as we speak, senior officials have also gone to the school to ask exactly what happened over there. The parents were completely shocked because on one end, the principal was trying to say time and again, this is a school from Dindigul called as KR Government School, where she was saying once again and again, citing an order claiming that this is not permitted, but the senior officials are itself saying there is no such thing. But still, she was seen in that video telling the parents that kumkum, holy ash and all such things are not permitted by the government.
Okay, we leave it at that. Thanks for joining us. There's also more breaking news coming in. We'll have to cut straight across to it. Breaking news is about a heated argument breaking out between passengers and Air India staff over flight delay at Delhi airport. Passengers of a Mumbai-bound Air India flight and airline staff got into an argument at Delhi's T3 airport terminal late last evening after the flight was delayed by over 4 hours. The flight took off at 1:40 a.m. finally against its original scheduled time of 8 p.m. We'll get you more on the story and the visuals as well in moments from now, but we're slipping to a very short commercial break. News and updates on the other side. Stay with us.
You are watching India Today.
Gandhi didn't get convinced by you. In fact, he said that I think you were. I don't know the exact words, but I think he said that you did not know much about foreign policy matters. You needed to learn a little more.
Well, let me put it to you more accurately. This wasn't at a parliamentary committee. In parliamentary committees, we have interacted, but usually what happens in parliamentary committee, I try to keep to myself, so I will not get into it with you either. This, I think, was something he said at some kind of public meeting. I think it was probably in the context of China, if I remember right.
Yeah, he's not convinced about China.
Yeah, but he
thinks that you are opaque about it.
I don't know whether it's opaque or whether, there was a sort of a level of knowledge, understanding. I mean, all I can say in my defense is I have been the longest serving ambassador in China. I have been dealing with a lot of these border issues for a very, very long time. I would say, let me put it to you this way. I'm not suggesting I'm necessarily the most knowledgeable person, but I would have a fairly good self-opinion of my understanding of what is out there.
Okay.
But, if he has superior knowledge, wisdom, I'm always, as I said, for me, life is a learning process.
Superior knowledge, wisdom on China?
If he has, I'm always willing to listen.
Okay. And learn from Mr. Rahul Gandhi on China?
If you think that that's a possibility, I have never closed my mind to anything, however improbable it is. We are not debating just a documentary or a speech that somebody gave in a European city or
New York.
a newspaper edit somewhere. We are debating actually politics which is being conducted ostensibly as media. So, there is a phrase, war by other means. There is also, think of it, this is politics by another means. You'll do a hatchet job. Then you want to do a hatchet job and say, well, this is just another quest for truth which we decided after 20 years to put out at this time. So come on, you think the timing is accidental? Let me tell you one thing. I don't know if election season has started in India and Delhi or not, but for sure it has started in London and New York.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
The first schedule of Tiger Shroff and Akshay Kumar's Bade Miyan Chote Miyan has been wrapped up. The news was confirmed by the producer of the film, Jackie Bhagnani.
सर अपनी अगली फिल्म अनाउंस कर रहा हूँ.
कब आ रही तेरी?
क्रिसमस 2023.
मुझसे क्लैश करेगा? क्या नाम है तेरी फिल्म का?
सर छोटे मियां. आपका?
बड़े मियां.
Tiger Shroff too took to social media to share this picture and wrote, "It was an honor riding alongside you, Bade. Akshay Kumar, coming to you at the speed of light in a cinema near you." Directed by Ali Abbas Zafar, Bade Miyan Chote Miyan is a modern take on the 1998's film of the same name, starring Amitabh Bachchan and Govinda.
दिखाई नहीं दे रहा? आरे की धार तेज कर रहा हूँ.
मेरे को उल्लू समझा है क्या? समझने की क्या जरूरत है? तू तो वैसे ही. मैं सब समझ रहा हूँ. तुम दोनों का अकेले में भागम भाग का प्लान है. मेरे को साथ में लेके जाना पड़ेगा.
Meanwhile, Akshay was in the capital recently to promote his upcoming film Selfie along with his co-star Imran Hashmi. The event was jam-packed with fans cheering for their favorite actor.
So nice to see such a loud, energetic crowd here.
Tell us about the industry first. How is it going, and when we end the fiscal year, what would the numbers stand at?
In 22-23, we'll end up with about 75,000 crores of exports.
Okay.
And about total production of about 350,000 crores of mobile phones. That's where we are going to land up with. And the total electronic production will be approximately $90 billion. Total electronic exports should cross $20 billion.
The industry, on the other hand, has been seeking a lot of strength with respect to the PLI incentives. Even non-fiscal incentives also the industry seeks. So are you saying that the industry needs to move beyond PLI schemes and fiscal incentives or non-fiscal incentives and start work on their own so that they could probably then become Atmanirbhar?
There is some things which the industry can do. I think that will happen automatically once the scale kicks in. Once the scale kicks in, then you can't hold back.
Pakoda. Hot pakoda. This is the pork curry. Manga laddu. The people vote for us based on what the ideologies that we have. What do the young of Shillong want?
I just want to go out of Meghalaya.
If you're standing by the people, then expect people to stand by you.
In 30 years of doing political rallies, I've never quite seen anything like this.
And we would like to be king, not a kingmaker.
The future's not ours. Whatever happens in its politics, we will celebrate with music and food.
Gift well with Sleep Well.
A very good afternoon. You're watching India Today. I'm Nabila Jamal. The very important Delhi's mayoral polls for the fourth time is currently underway. Ruckus on, but will they finally be able to elect their mayor? I'm going to take you through all of that. The headlines first. Big setback for Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia. The centre gives a nod to prosecute Sisodia in Delhi Snoopgate scandal. Sena versus Sena war in the top court as Supreme Court is set to hear Uddhav Thackeray's plea against the Election Commission's ruling. Can Uddhav Thackeray win his Sena back? In sensational murder plot claim by Uddhav Thackeray's Sena MP, Sanjay Rawat alleges Chief Minister Shinde's son has plotted his murder. Haryana police has registered a case against 30 to 40 Rajasthan police personnel for allegedly assaulting a pregnant relative that led to her miscarriage. Tamil Nadu BJP chief leads a campaign against DMK over soldier's death, questions law and order under Stalin. Protesters booked. Some big news here. Again, a heated argument that's broken out between passengers at an Air India flight. Air India staff and passengers enter an argument, and that's led to unprecedented flight delay. For close to 5 hours, the flight was delayed. Passengers of a Mumbai-bound Air India flight and airline staff got into a heated argument at Delhi's T3, Terminal 3 late last night after in fact, it appears that the flight was delayed by a good 4 hours due to that ruckus and commotion that took place at Terminal 3. The flight took off finally at 1:40 a.m. against its original scheduled time that was to take off at 8 p.m. Yet another controversy coming in from an airline. Air India staff, we believe, and passengers have entered a heated argument that's led to a 4-hour delay in the flight takeoff. That's the video that we have here, and this video was tweeted by a passenger himself, and this was last night, late last night, 8 p.m. flight that was supposed to take off from Delhi to Mumbai, and it appears this argument led to a good 4-hour delay. Finally, the flight took off at 1:40 a.m. Now, the reason for this argument, what really happened between the flyers and the staff of Air India, remains to be established, but for now, this was an unprecedented delay. Just because of an argument, it appears the entire flight had to be halted for a good 4 hours. This should have been good reason for the flight to have been stranded. Let me cut across to Pooja Shali joining us live from the newsroom. Pooja, a quick word from you. Do we know exactly the reason to why this argument broke out in the first place, and what was so wrong that they had to stall the aircraft with all the passengers for a good 4 hours?
This is just another example of how there have been heated exchanges either between the crew or the passengers, or this time the ground staff at the Delhi airport. This was a Mumbai-bound Air India flight. Now, it was scheduled at about 8 p.m. and eventually after the delay that was constantly coming for the information that's coming in, it was original schedule was 8 p.m. but eventually it took off at 1:40 a.m. which is past midnight, and because of that constant delay, eventually some of these passengers that you see on your screen went to the ground staff, and their anger also understandable. They were not given any specific reason, and that's why you see a lot of questions being asked to what exactly was the reason. So 8 p.m. was scheduled time, 1:40 a.m. eventually the flight took off from Delhi to Mumbai, which is about 2.5 hours of travel. And this, remember, is just in addition to how there have been heated exchanges, whether it's mid-air between passengers and crew, or in otherwise recently the controversies that have come in. In fact, this is Air India facing an issue, a second issue on the same day. There's been an emergency landing of an Air India aircraft aircraft of an international route. And now we see that on Delhi airport, this is how the passengers got into a heated argument over the delay.
Right. Thank you very much, Pooja, for joining us. Of course, we still, as it appears, do not know the reason for the argument that's broken out between the passengers and the Air India staff that's led to a 4-hour delay, stranded all of those passengers at that flight waiting for this ruckus to subside, only so they could take off. Finally, 1:40 a.m. is when the flight took off. All right, some big breaking news coming in. Eknath Shinde, Chief Minister of Maharashtra, breaks his silence on some allegations, serious allegations that's been leveled by Uddhav Thackeray camp member and Neta Sanjay Raut. The charges that Sanjay Raut has leveled against Eknath Shinde and his family members. Raut had claimed that he has received death threats by Shinde's son. Shinde now responding. Eknath Shinde, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, says will probe whether this is a stunt. Eknath Shinde on Sanjay Raut's threat claim says, we will look into this matter. The state police will investigate. It will also be investigating whether this is a stunt. It's the committee appointed that decides who is to get security. This is Eknath Shinde, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, now responding to some serious allegations leveled by Sanjay Raut, who claims that Eknath Shinde's son threatened Sanjay Raut. These are big claims that Sanjay Raut has made. Remember Sanjay Raut, who is part of Uddhav Thackeray's Sena, Shiv Sena UBT, firebrand MP who has been fighting through this entire storm, the political turmoil, which has come as a huge setback for Uddhav Thackeray and himself and the entire Uddhav Thackeray camp. At a time like this, he's come out to allege that Eknath Shinde, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra and also the man leading the breakaway faction of the Shiv Sena, his son, allegedly of threatening Sanjay Raut. He says that Eknath Shinde's son has threatened him and offered supari to a gangster to murder him. This is a grievous allegation that Sanjay Raut has leveled, and here is the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde, responding and for the first time breaking his silence on Sanjay Raut's allegations, saying that we will investigate if this is a stunt.
उसकी पूरी तफ्तीश हो जाएगी, जांच होगी। अगर कोई ऐसा जानबूझकर स्टंट करने के लिए कोई करता होगा तो उसकी भी जांच होगी, और अगर किसी को धोखा होगा इसकी भी जांच होगी। और ये राज्य सरकार जो है ये बिल्कुल सभी लोगों की सुरक्षा, कानून व्यवस्था बनाए रखने की जिम्मेदारी हमारी है, लेकिन कोई कानून व्यवस्था बिगाड़ने की कोशिश करेगी तो उसके ऊपर भी कार्रवाई करने का गृह विभाग करेगा।
सर एक सवाल है,
याच्यामध्ये एकच आहे, कुणाला सुरक्षा किती द्यायची याच्यासाठी एक कमिटी आहे, सर्वोच्च न्यायालयाने ते गठीत केलेली आहे त्यांच्या आदेशाप्रमाणे। त्यामुळे सुरक्षेचा आढावा घेऊन त्या ठिकाणी सुरक्षा पुरवली जाते। कुणाची सुरक्षा म्हणजे विदाऊट कारण किंवा राजकीय हेतू डोळ्यासमोर ठेवून कुणाची सुरक्षा कमी केली जाणार नाही आणि आवश्यकतेप्रमाणे सुरक्षा पुरवली जाईल। ती समिती
All right, there you have reactions on that. Of course, this is quite a serious allegation that comes in, as Sanjay Raut, who is the right-hand man or the backbone to Uddhav Thackeray. Uddhav Thackeray's firebrand MP, Sanjay Raut, who very recently came out of prison. He's currently facing serious corruption charges as well. He's been missing in action as he was in prison for a few months. In fact, he's now out, and as this storm consumes the Uddhav Thackeray faction, it appears that this allegation surfaces right at a time when they're already reeling under this crisis of their party symbol being snatched away and given to the Eknath Shinde faction. So certainly something that needs to be taken note of, whether or not the controversy. Sanjay Raut making claims that Eknath Shinde's son is trying to kill him, that is massive. and needs to be dealt with. Let me cut across to Pankaj Upadhyay, who's tracking those developments, joining us live from Mumbai. Pankaj, a quick word from you. Sanjay Raut, we know, who's a firebrand MP. He's been the man really standing by Uddhav Thackeray through this entire controversy, the political storm and turmoil for the Uddhav Thackeray faction. He now claims that Eknath Shinde, the man who led the breakaway faction, his son are trying to kill him. On what basis and grounds is Sanjay Raut saying this? Is this really a stunt trying to get sympathy, support here, or is there any truth to that?
Nabila, let me apprise you with the very latest here. After the sensational claim that were made by Sanjay Raut, Chief Minister of the state Eknath Shinde has said that this matter is going to be thoroughly investigated. He has also said that the investigation will also see whether this is a stunt by Sanjay Raut. Just a few moments back, Chief Minister, after the cabinet meeting, said that they have taken the matter very seriously and that the police and that the State Police Department is going to thoroughly look into the matter. Eknath Shinde also said that they are committed for the safety aspects, safety and security of the people. But if there are certain elements, if there are people who are trying to make a mockery of this and they are playing stunts, then they will be acted upon as well. Clearly stating that if it turns out to be a stunt on part of Sanjay Raut, then the government will be taking action against him. Of course, we had earlier said that Sanjay Raut has made this sensational claim saying that he had learned through his sources that a plot was being hatched to attack him, and that plot was being hatched by none other than Chief Minister Eknath Shinde's son. When asked what were his sources, Sanjay Raut had said that highly placed sources in the Thane region had told him that a plot was being hatched. Now, we saw after that what Deputy Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Devendra Fadnavis, had said. He had said that yes, this is a serious matter and that the entire matter is going to be looked into in a very democratic fashion. But he also said whether Sanjay Raut was trying to get the security by playing this card. As far as the Eknath Shinde camp is concerned, the Eknath Shinde camp clearly rubbished aside this claim of Sanjay Raut and said that he was sensationalizing the entire matter, and if there was any truth in his alleged claims, then he should report to the police and lodge a FIR, which he has not done. But this being a serious matter, since Sanjay Raut is a member of parliament as well, and he has written a letter to DCM Devendra Fadnavis as well, this statement today by Chief Minister of the state, Eknath Shinde, claiming that they have taken the matter very, very seriously and thorough investigation is going to be conducted. And if it so turns out that this is a stunt, then action would be taken against him as well. This is big. Sensational claim first made by Sanjay Raut, and now the statement coming out from the Chief Minister himself that if it does turn out to be a stunt, this action is going to be initiated.
Well, yeah, these are allegations made by a sitting MP, Sanjay Raut, and he levels these allegations against the Chief Minister's son, saying that a supari has been given to Tihar jail gang to knock him off. That's something that needs to be probed, irrespective of who's saying it. These are serious allegations that must be investigated. Thank you very much, Pankaj Upadhyay, for joining us on that. Yes, some big news on the Congress's front. Congress Chief Mallikarjun Kharge's tweet now triggers a storm. Kharge's big statement coming ahead of 2024 polls. Kharge in his tweet says, and I quote, "In 2024, an alliance government will be formed. Congress will lead that alliance. In 2024, an alliance government will be formed in the centre and Congress will be leading that alliance." This is Mallikarjun Kharge outrightly tweeting this message as he is confident that it will be the Congress leading this alliance government that will form in 2024, defeating the mighty BJP. Mallikarjun Kharge's statements here coming right in time. Karnataka going to elections in about a month's time. 2024, barely a year away. It appears all parties are going big on their campaigns much in advance. And here you have Mallikarjun Kharge, the newly appointed president of the Congress party, who's made a bold statement saying there will be an alliance government, basically to suggest that BJP will not come back to power. This is Mallikarjun Kharge who says there will be an alliance government and Congress will be leading that alliance. Mallikarjun Kharge, who's just taken over as the Congress president, really now seeping into the works of it, trying to take control of the Congress party. But the irony here is the multiple meetings that many of the opposition parties have had together have never really boasted of any kind of unity. So is there any truth to what Mallikarjun Kharge says, or rather, could this be a likely possibility? Supriya Bharadwaj joining us live for a little more on that. Supriya, a quick word from you. So far, all meetings of the opposition parties on many levels in different states that were conducted, it appears that many of them were opposed to the idea of Congress leading that alliance. They rather want to form a third front without the Congress. But Mallikarjun Kharge very confident, saying 2024 will be an alliance government and Congress will be leading that alliance.
Well, Nabila, today also in the morning, Shiv Sena Thakre's Samna, the mouthpiece of that organization, has come up with an article where it has been said that all the opposition parties should come together. They should shed their egos and sit on the talking table and form a grand alliance to take on the BJP. Now, Mallikarjun Kharge is also talking about the same thing. He's saying that it's only Congress party, and we have shown it through Bharat Jodo Yatra, which was led by Rahul Gandhi, that it is the Congress which is an India party and it can lead the grand alliance, and all the parties should come together. Now, while a few minutes back I was talking to Pramod Tiwari, who's the Rajya Sabha MP of the Congress party, and he said that any other opposition party that forms a third front, that is minus Congress party, is actually going all out and helping BJP. That's a very serious allegation that he has left on some of the opposition parties. He has said that there is this 68% vote share. The entire total out of voters, the percentage of the entire opposition vote share is around 68%. And anyone who comes together and tries to divide this vote is in a way helping BJP. And they are saying that all the opposition parties should come together and actually take on the BJP in a united manner. So this is what Mallikarjun Kharge has also said. Today in the morning, just in an hour or so, Rahul Gandhi will be also addressing the rally in Meghalaya. At the same time, Mallikarjun Kharge will be speaking in Delhi around 2:30 p.m. at Talkatoora Stadium. So more and more feelers are being sent to the opposition parties. We have seen as to how Nitish Kumar of the JDU and as well as RJD's Tejasvi Yadav had reached out for opposition unity. And then today is Shiv Sena Thakre's Samna newspaper, in which they are saying that everybody should come out. They have said that Rahul Gandhi has led the Yatra and has strengthened Congress party, and all the opposition parties should come together and sit on a talking table. So certainly, yes, the shape for the Grand Alliance is taking place, but also somewhere it seems that the message from the
Shape for a Grand Alliance taking place. Supriya Bharadwaj, if you could give us a quick sense. For example, just about a month ago, while the Bharat Jodo Yatra concluded in Jammu and Kashmir, at that point, Kharge had given an open call to like-minded parties, opposition parties to come by. About 21 odd parties were invited, but barely a few showed up. So the Congress hoping for opposition unity, but it appears that many of the strong opposition parties, including that of the TMC, the Aam Aadmi Party, many of them not interested in Congress leading that alliance.
Well,
so where are the signs at all of unity?
Well, Nabila, this is exactly what I'm saying is that the opposition, the Congress party now, Pramod Tiwari, who's also another senior leader, has said that any party, opposition party who's planning to create a third front or are thinking about a front minus Congress parties, in a way, they're indirectly helping BJP. Now, there's a very sharp allegation which has been leveled. Certainly, yes, we are seeing as to how the Congress is, there were these murmurs, the Congress parties didn't take this thing very kindly as to how many of the opposition parties didn't turn up. And again, a new way of reaching out to the opposition has started with Mallikarjun Kharge taking the lead. And what we are hearing is that still a lot has to flow under the bridge, a lot of water has to flow under the bridge. But there is this sense in the opposition camp that they have to come together and ensure that the votes of the opposition doesn't get divided in 2024 elections, the Lok Sabha elections. What we are hearing from the opposition quarters, especially from the Congress, is that after they formalize their strategy in the upcoming plenary session of the big party, that is on 24th onwards, there will be a proper strategy put in place as to how to reach out to the opposition parties, not only just the like-minded parties which are already with them, but even parties like TMC, Aam Aadmi Party, Samajwadi Party. So there is a churning going on. And yes, as I say, it's bahut kathin hai dagar pangatti. It's still a long way to go. It is not that easy for everybody.
Well, not so long for the BJP. BJP known to be war horses. They're already preparing for 2024. So it's about time that the opposition, if they want to come together as a united front, really work up their way. Mallikarjun Kharge has spoken on the same. Let's have a listen.
Modi has several times said,
I am the only man who can face the country. No other people can touch me. That proudly he says. No democratic man says like this. You are in democracy, you should remember, you are not a autocrat, you are not a dictator. You are elected by people and people will teach you lesson in 2024. The alliance government will come in center. Congress will lead. We are talking with other parties because otherwise the democracy on constitution will go. Therefore, with every party, now and then, we are calling, we are talking, we are sharing our views how to win 2024. Therefore, the BJP will not get majority. Some people say they will not get majority. All other parties together, of course Congress will lead. We will get the majority. We will follow the constitution. We will follow the democracy.
All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to Congress's Supriya Srinath speaking on S. Jaishankar and the taunt that he gave to the Congress.
तमाशे सारे करिए, लेकिन इस देश की भूभागीय अखंडता, इस देश की आर्मी, इस देश के शौर्य और पराक्रम के साथ खिलवाड़ मत कीजिए, जो आप लगातार कर रहे हैं। झूठ बोलना एक्चुअली चीन का साथ देता है, क्योंकि चीन जब कोर कमांडर मीटिंग में बैठता है तो यही कहता है चीन का पीएलए कि आपके प्रधानमंत्री वही तो कह रहे हैं कि कोई घुसा हुआ नहीं है। और एस जयशंकर जी इस देश के सबसे फेल्ड फॉरेन मिनिस्टर लगातार उस बात की पुष्टि कर रहे हैं। आई विल वेरी ब्रीफली